And welcome everyone to ESPN College Football presented by Geico. From Los Angeles in the corner of Figueroa and Martin Luther King Boulevard, historic, iconic Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, the Arizona Wildcats and Rich Rodriguez taking on Coach Helton's USC Trojans. As we take a look at the standings in the Pac-12 South, the winner of this game, simply put, has a leg up on the title. To think that Arizona was picked to finish dead last. They were 2-2, and then Khalil Tate happened.
I think they found their quarterback now.
The folks probably in town are like, okay, who is this Khalil Tate guy?
We came in here with the objective of stopping Khalil Tate, and we didn't tackle well.
He brings an element to the team.
It's all set up based on what he can do as far as his legs.
He is unstoppable. And a great quarterbacking showdown tonight. Mark Jones, Rod Gilmore chopping it up with Quint Kessenich down on the field. He'll join us in just a minute. Rod, Khalil Tate owned the month of October in college football. He's the best player in the country that people are still finding out about. He's a treat to watch.
He's amazing, that meteoric rise. I can't wait to see him in person tonight. Watch him on tape. Yes, his legs are fantastic. He's a little Lamar Jackson, a little bit of Michael Vick, but there's more to him than just the running. Because people focus on that, they've overlooked his ability to throw a great deep ball, and he's hurt people. You want to talk about Mr. October, with all due respect to Reggie Jackson? Take a look at this. First in rushing yards since October 1st. And then the first in yards per rush and a pretty good completion percentage.
He's from the area, competing in front of friends and families. Meanwhile, Sam Darnold still putting together a very good season.
He's like, what's with the new shiny toy? You know, I'm still pretty good. #1 pick likely in the NFL draft. Should he come out next spring? And he's played well the last few weeks. 11 touchdowns, 2 picks, and he seems to have settled in.
USC winning the toss, electing to receive. On the return, USC will get first possession, and they'll take it out to the 25-yard line. Cooper on the tackle, and Darnold will have it 1st and 10 for the Trojans. Darnold playing perhaps his best game of the season last week in their win against Arizona State. Redshirt sophomore took over last year, midway through the season. He has a lineage of great athletes in his family. His mother played volleyball. His dad was a varsity athlete as well. Ronald Jones in the backfield, 1st down and 10. The handoff is to Jones, and Jones takes it out over the 25 to the 26-yard line. Darnold completing 63% of his passes on the season. 20 touchdown passes, those 10 interceptions a little bit problematic at times.
He has got crazy accuracy, though, and that leads him at times to try to squeeze things into windows he probably shouldn't. But, boy, he's got an arm.
Pittman goes in motion. They hand it off to Jones again. And Jones, who's coming off a strong performance last week, picks up another 6. The tackle made by Justin Belknap of Arizona. 1st down and 10.
You know, people talk about Darnold having struggled early on this season, primarily with turnovers, including some fumbles, but you can't deny his skill set.
A little bit of a high snap. They give it to Jones again for the 3rd consecutive time, and picks up another 1st down out near the 45-yard line. Huey's trending in the same direction as last week.
Yeah, and USC feels they have a physical advantage in this game. And if that's true, Ronald Jones is going to have a monster night. He's coming off a 216-yard performance against Arizona State. Vision, burst, acceleration, combined with world-class speed. He hits home runs.
Pretty combustible combination. Gets another chance here. Jones cuts it back and got tripped up at the 30-yard line, or else he had 6 on his mind. Flanagan fouls, making a touchdown-saving tackle on the 29-yard run.
Watch when he makes this move up here. You will see things very, very clearly. He sees that hole. Great block by Brown, the guard up front.
And the Trojans going fast on offense. A high-tempo. Fields making the tackle on the play. Jones, the workhorse on this drive. Ronald Jones, 6-foot junior out of McKinney, Texas. Now he's going to get a break. Ware comes into the ball game. Cedric Ware, number 28. The lone back, a 3-receiver formation here. Vaughn's in motion. Now it's a trips right. They hand it off to Ware, and Ware stopped up after a gain of 1 on the play by Cruikshank.
You know, Jonesy, this is a young defense. A lot of freshmen out there for Arizona. Also undersized. Quint talked about this size advantage. You're talking about a front that really isn't very big. 250, 260 up against some 300-pound guys and linebackers that are in the 220 range. There is a huge physical advantage for USC.
USC hoping to maintain a semblance of balance in this game as Vaughns goes in motion to the top of the screen. Ware still in the backfield. Darnold complete over the middle to his tight end, Petit. Tyler Petit stopped up a yard shy, and it's 4th down coming up, and a little bit of a decision for that guy.
I don't think so. I mean, the way they've run the ball here, the way they've been dominant, what he thought coming in, you line up and go get this.
Showing confidence. Darnold keeps it, and I'm not sure that he got it. He may have come up a little bit short, Rod.
I think you're right.
Clay Helton rolls the dice on the first possession of the game.
Yeah.
Let's look at the spot.
But Jonesy, I think he got a good spot there.
A very favorable spot.
Yeah, he got a good spot. But I think you have to take that. If you preach to your team all week, you know, that physically you're going to go after them and you can't be confident to go get a yard, you have to try and go get that yard.
And keep in mind that that line is still an approximation. Darnold down there. He got a good spot. The chains are off the sidelines, and here's the measurement. That's within inches.
Oh, we got to get closer.
It's that close. Arizona football.
How often do you see a ref get down on his knees to look for any space?
You'd think that in the day and age of all this advanced technology, Rod, there could be something a little more scientific with the first down marker.
Well, scientific or not, how about the explosiveness of that defensive front getting into the backfield, creating a pileup where there was nowhere for Darnold to get any ground. I mean, he couldn't move his feet.
Okay, so that Wildcats defense comes up big on its first sequence here. J.J. Taylor in the backfield behind this guy, Khalil Tate. The best player in college football over the last 4 weeks, by far, bar none. And now he is USC's problem. Tate hands it off. Stop made by Nwosu, a 2-yard gain on the play by J.J. Taylor. Khalil Tate started the season on the bench. In September, he played sparingly. There was an injury to Brandon Dawkins in the Colorado game, and that's when Tate got his opportunity. They hand it off here on the reverse. And a nice run by Ellison. Picks up 5 on the play, sets up a 3rd down and short. So Tate came off the bench after Dawkins was injured. And folks, he hasn't come out of the lineup since. He set an FBS rushing record for quarterbacks in that game of 327 yards. 4 weeks in a row he's been player of the week in the Pac-12. No one else has done that. 3rd and 2, and he hands it off for the first down again. This time it's going to be Taylor once more.
And he hasn't carried the ball yet. I mean, USC is hyper-focused on him, and they've gotten Taylor involved. Now, you talked about Tate exploding on the scene. This has been a big week for him. And the question for him tonight is, how do you manage your emotions in this week? A lot of stuff has happened that we'll talk about.
A lot of friends and family members here. He's from the area. Tate has thrown it well, too, downfield. No chance at that one.
Oh, he missed it.
For Ellison.
Yeah, he had Brown. Brown was open down the field, but I don't think he saw him. But that would have been the way to go. He had a chance to get a big play there and missed it. But talking about his week, he's now on the Heisman scene. He was not on the Heisman scene, not getting votes last week. National writers have been visiting him all week. We visited with him. He's coming home.
It's a lot to deal with, a lot of moving parts this week for this quarterback who's just been the starter for his 5th game now. On his first running attempt, he keeps it for a gain of 2. Houston Jr. makes the stop on the play. Khalil Tate 4 consecutive Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Week honors.
That's crazy.
The first player to do it. Rod, they might want to name the award after him.
Hey, remember, he did some of that when Bryce Love was going off at Stanford. He still got the Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Week.
Had 275 yards passing last week in their win against Washington State. And he tries to pass here. Spins out of trouble and sacked back at the 27. Chris Hawkins was there.
USC built a fence. There was no place to go. They didn't rush too far upfield. They made him dance in the middle of the pocket, which is what they want to do. Take the edges away. You saw Nwosu, number 42 on the outside, take away the left edge.
That's the first sack that they've allowed since September the 22nd against Utah. Harris back for this punt for the Trojans at his own 30. Josh Pollock, low snap, and they get to it. A scoop and score, room service Trojans. Houston Jr. with the touchdown. It all fell apart at the low snap.
Low snap. And Jonesy, when something like that happens, you have to hurry but not rush. You have to make sure you secure it and take care of it. Take your eyes off of it. You don't secure it, you got a problem, and Houston is there to take advantage.
And USC on the board first. Winner of this game has a leg up on the South Division title in the Pac-12. And the defense, or special teams, gets the first touchdown. John Houston Jr. takes it in on the scoop and score. We'll be back right after this.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Reese's, perfect. Northwestern Mutual. Northwestern Mutual, we help you live life differently. And Enterprise, rent, buy, or share. How can Enterprise pick you up today?
The city of Los Angeles aglow at night here at the Coliseum. Mark Jones, Rod Gilmore, Quint Kesnick down in the field. USC out to a quick 7-0 lead on the scoop and score by Houston Jr. Took it in 11 yards. On the return, this is Tyrell Johnson for the Wildcats. Has an alley and a nice return out beyond the 35. Adnan Burke, what's good? All right, thanks a lot, Adnan. We have an injured player down in the field. Donovan Walker, number 12 for the Arizona Wildcats, up and off under his own power. Boy, we got to look at Dante Pettis a little bit earlier. Him and his punt returns and kickoff returns.
Crazy good.
Yes, sir. J.J. Taylor in the backfield. That is Khalil Tate in for his second offensive sequence of the game. Brown in motion. He takes it on the jet sweep, but there's a flag down. He picks up enough for the first down, but will it stand?
Offside, defense number 44. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
Right, let's get back to Khalil Tate and his really compelling, riveting story. He went into the coach's office on the Monday of the week against Colorado and said, "Coach, I need to get on the field. How can I get on the field?" And Coach Rodriguez said, "I need to see some juice in practice. You got to give it to me in practice." And he did, and he's been doing it ever since, although this time brought down for a loss of 1 on the play by Nwosu.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that Khalil Tate played against USC last season as a freshman. 72 yards rushing. Not good on the passing front, 8 of 17 in that ball game as USC blew them out. But he was 17 years old. He was a little heavier, not quite into the playbook. This is an entirely different quarterback now.
Yeah, dropped 20 pounds, much more explosive. Pulls it out, taking a shot downfield, and overshoots his receiver on the play, Sean Poindexter. And it's 3rd and long coming up.
Yeah, that's the second shot we've seen down the field, but a little bit of contact here, a little hand-to-hand, a little pushing off by the receiver. That was Poindexter, 6'5". Mutual combat.
Yeah. 3rd down coming up.
Now, this is not the ideal situation. Their drop-back passing game hasn't progressed to where they needed to be. They don't like this situation. Wouldn't be surprised to see a run here.
3rd and 11 for Tate. They send a little blitz after him. He loses ground and wisely throws it out of bounds. It looked like Tell was after him, and that's an interesting matchup within this matchup tonight, right?
Yeah, we'll watch that all night long. Tell's an outstanding athlete and is going to get matched up to make some plays in space, including, with Tate. But, the drop-back passing game, Jonesy, is typically the last piece of the puzzle for quarterbacks. It's the hardest thing to do, to sit in the middle of the pocket, be patient, to feel the pressure, and also to see the field.
Yeah, well, Tate was, during his recruiting and the process, adamant about playing quarterback. And this is going to take a propitious role for Arizona all the way down to the 3-yard line, where Sam Darnold will start 97 yards away. His team up 7-0 when we come back.
ESPN College Football is presented by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And in part by Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
Look at one of the iconic symbols in the landscape here, the Santa Monica Pier. You're watching the Pac-12 on ESPN. It's Pac-12 After Dark, folks. Mark Jones and Rod Gilmore.
Should I give you some music behind that?
A little slow jazz, please. The Quiet Storm. Big storm right now. The Trojans leading 7-0 on a blocked punt, scoop and score. And Ronald Jones has been the key cog offensively for them on the one drive they've had. And here he is again, getting on 1st down. Bouncing it outside. Jones still on his feet. There's a flag down. Jones still on his feet. A 97-yard burst. Jones can't be stopped. Touchdown.
But he can be stopped by a flag.
All the way back at the 12-yard line.
Nice of him to show us that 10.37 100-meter speed he had. Still has.
It was real.
Holding offense number 21. Passes to the goal. Replay. First down.
That's Tyler Vaughn, the redshirt freshman receiver, was out in space. You'll see it on the perimeter to the right side of your screen, showing up right there. Just a complete hold takedown that was inside, not on the outside. You saw the very beginning there. He was basically tackling him.
Yeah, the official was right there, and Jones has to take a breather, of course, after that 97-yard gallop. Ball back at the 5-yard line now. Handoff is to Ware. And Cedric Ware picks up about 6. Scotty Young Jr. making the tackle on the play.
Here's a power set by USC. 2 tight ends. Creates an extra gap on either side that Arizona has to try and fit into. And remember, they're undersized. So it's a little bit more difficult for them. And USC may use a lot of 2 tight ends, may use a lot of 2 backs tonight.
1st down and 10 for Sam Darnold. Hands it off. Ware again. Great spin move. And a 1st down out to the 38-yard line. Schooler finally making the tackle on the play.
You know, Jonesy, when USC runs this stretch play, these gaps get quite wide. See that hole? They just stretch out that defensive line, and then your good backs like Ware have a good opportunity to use that vision and dance a little bit. A little spin in the hole there.
from the 26-yard line. And that is number 28, Cedric Ware again. Brought down by Cruikshank and Wilborn. You know, getting back to quarterback Sam Darnold. Took over last year, led them on a great run. And he's 16-2 in his last 18 games. You get back to his recruitment at USC. They got in on him late. Spring of his junior year, they invited him to camp. And he really balled out. They offered him a scholarship. At that point, it was Duke and Utah that had the upper leg in his recruitment. On 2nd and 9, a little pressure coming. Darnold, almost intercepted by Jace Whitaker. And a flag down, and Whitaker, boy, you talk about a pick six that was written, or could have been.
Well, Whitaker has been on a tear lately. 3 picks.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 19. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Scotty Young Jr., the culprit.
Whitaker had a pick 6 against Rosen. Could have had one there against Darnold. And that's late push, unnecessary. You know, there's a thing about defensive backs.
That's why they're on defense.
Otherwise, we'd be wide receivers.
First down and 10 from the 42. This is the true freshman Carr. Ball came out loose. The freshman put it on the ground there for a second. No signal yet. And it's going to remain Trojan football. Getting back to Darnold and his recruitment. You know, when Coach Helton went to watch him in high school, he actually saw one of his games, and Darnold was 13 for 13 passing at halftime, and Coach Helton figured he'd seen enough at that point, right?
Yeah. Well, pretty talented guy. Didn't play a lot of quarterback in high school, which is why he was somewhat under-recruited.
2nd down and 7. Burnett in motion. They set up the screen, and this is where a couple of nice blocks in front of him. Out to the 42-yard line, and another first down. Flanagan fouls, and Young Jr. making the tackle on the 13-yard run. First down for the Trojans.
Jones gets a break. Ware's been in for the last few plays, and you know, he played well against Arizona last year. Over 100 yards rushing in that blowout.
Balance, the operative word for the Trojans offensively tonight.
Well, more than balance, you've got this guy, Darnold, and you haven't had to use him. He's thrown 1 pass, 2 passes now?
Yeah. He's thrown 2 passes tonight. First down and 10. Handed off again to Ware. A yawning hole up the middle. Tripped up barely. Right around the 20-yard line. And they are lacerating that defensive front.
Yeah, watch the right guard, Andrew Voorhees pull around from right to left. Huge holes. Again, undersized. That line, that defensive line can't sit there. They have to move them.
First down and 10, USC.
You got to slant that D-line. You got to move some linebackers in. If they just sit there, they're just going to get mauled.
They got to junk the game up a little bit?
Absolutely.
First and 10, the handoff to Cedric Ware over the left side. Still on his feet. Moved the pile about 6 yards for another first down and goal to go. Burns finally making the tackle on the 18-yard gain.
Hey, Jones, you just feel this. Look at that offensive line. Dan step to the left. Look how far back they're driving everyone off the line of scrimmage. 3, 4, 5 yards.
They're playing smash ball. That time Ware stopped up short of the goal line at about the 1. Ware 6 foot, 195 pounds, out of DeSoto, Texas. Junior.
When Marcel Yates, the D coordinator for Arizona, gets his troops on the sideline, they'll make some adjustments. They'll look them in the eye. They'll talk about moving. They'll talk about getting guys into every gap and getting low.
Because you can't put on 20 pounds
that's
during
not
the halftime, right?
No. Not unless you start buying them hot dogs and kettle corn.
Timeout.
This will be a full timeout.
USC.
I looked at some kettle corn here.
Yeah.
$15.
LA prices, man.
Kettle corn, $15.
Gourmet kettle corn, I bet. Back after this. 7-0 USC with the lead. Officials reviewing the last play to see if there were too many Arizona players on the field. And there might have been a 12th man there.
There were. Take a look down there. That's what they're doing. They're looking at that guy. Does he get off the field? There were probably 13 guys, and one got off it. Number 12 did not.
And the official still reviewing the play. Clay Helton actually came out and suggested, quote unquote, that they have another look in a little bit more firm and imploring terms. But Sam Darnold off to a good start. This drive, Rod.
Well, his offensive line is off to a better start, and
looks like old-time USC football, doesn't it?
Yeah, and the thing that frustrates Rodriguez is that means Khalil Tate is on the sideline. When USC pounds the ball like that, and Ronald Jones is second, already 65 yards. Said where 64 already.
Wow.
That means Tate's on the sideline watching, and everybody's going, Mr. October. We haven't even seen him on the field.
Yeah. People remember November the most. Both these teams in contention for the Pac-12 South Division title, both with one loss, and some interesting machinations today with Stanford surprisingly losing to Washington State, and so the Washington actually has the leg up on the Pac-12 North right now.
Well, it's going to be fascinating to see how this plays out. A couple of upsets today. Ohio State going down.
Wow.
What will happen when we get our new rankings?
Michigan State losing.
How about Michigan State, Spartan Nation rising up in the Big Ten? And that's going to be a heck of a game next week when Ohio State and Michigan State collide.
Are they still scoring in that Bedlam game, Oklahoma State? What are they at, 95 now or something?
Yeah, defense optional in the Big 12, it seems.
And the officials still taking a look, trying to figure this out. With 4:01 to go in the first quarter.
You know what? I want a new rule. Time limit cap. If you can't figure it out after 90 seconds, you can't figure it out. Move on.
Yeah.
Move on and play.
Yeah, you don't want to get forensic experts out here.
After review, there were more than 11 players on the field for the defense. This is a foul for illegal substitution. The penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down for USC.
You ever seen a flag thrown that late after a play actually thrown?
Look, that's fine. I have no problem with that. But we don't need 3, 4 minutes, 5 minutes to figure that out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot to do. You know, the officials have to look at the clock, get the clock right. They got to look at where to place the ball, all that. But still, we got to do it faster, don't you think?
Yeah. Yeah, that would help expedite things. This game ground to a halt on that last call, that challenge. USC not charged a timeout. Cedric Ware in the backfield on 1st and goal for the Trojans. See if Marcel Yates, the defensive coordinator, made some tweaks yet, because they have been weight roomed on this drive.
Well, there's a tweak for you.
Got to win there. Yeah, Crookshank with the tackle, 2nd and goal.
Yeah, it comes flying off the corner.
Q?
Yeah, they like Chris Brown, their left guard, 77. He's their strongest blocker at the point of attack. He won his matchup, but they lost the edge.
Yeah, Crookshank came fast off the corner, and expect to see a little bit more of that.
Little bunch formation to the right of Darnold. Looking into the end zone. Picked off! Crookshank. And the Zona defense gets a huge win.
First down at the 20-yard line.
Wow.
Well, and one of the biggest crimes here for Darnold is it's an early down. No reason to take that chance, but what are you seeing? Now, he's usually better outside of the pocket, but what could he not see? How could he not see Crookshank right in front of him? And how about Crookshank making 2 back-to-back plays to get his defense off the field and give his offense a chance to get back in this ballgame?
Huge play by Dane Crookshank, the 6'1 senior, on a very young team. 1st and 10. Khalil Tate time, but he hands it off again. A gain of 3 on the play by Taylor. Adnan, what's good? Yeah, they do so far. Boy, the turnover by Darnold. His counterpart Tate on the field. 2nd and 8 for the Wildcats. Tate finds his man for the first down. That's number 6, Shun Brown.
You know, it's those throws like that by Darnold that make people question, is he really ready to leave college and go to the NFL because of all the turnovers, Q? What are your thoughts?
Well, they love to roll out, and they stayed to that tendency. But he was staring right at Cruikshank. Just a great play. And the one thing that stands out, Mark, as Tate gets tackled near the first down marker, is Arizona's defense. Last week, it was rope-a-dope. They gave up over 600 yards of offense, but they came up with 4 interceptions in the red zone especially. They bend, but right now they haven't been breaking.
7-0. Huge turnover a moment ago on that interception. A flag thrown at the 42-yard line. Khalil Tate, keep in mind, was recruited by USC as an athlete. Coach Helton told him, hey, you can come here and try out for the quarterbacking position.
Personal foul, hands to the face, defense number 98. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the play. Automatic first down.
Tate just thought it would be a better fit for him as we look at the culprit on that last penalty, number 98, Fatu.
What a turnaround this has been. All of a sudden, Arizona is getting close to USC's red zone.
From the 39, Tate tucks it, keeps it, and a good gain of about 7 yards for Khalil Tate. Brought down by Tell. That's the matchup, Rod, you talked about. We're going to keep an eye on. Number 7 for USC against number 14.
Well, there he is in the middle of the field, and he will typically line up to the side of the back.
Tate hands it off this time to Taylor with nowhere to go. Falls forward for about a yard on the play.
And the reason he lines up to the side of the back is because in that zone read, the quarterback winds up coming his way. And they want Tell to be in a position to make the tackle on the quarterback because he's physically able to do so. Talented, athletic, and a good tackler. Not in there right now. You saw him come off the field.
Zach Green coming into the ball game. He's their bigger back. Their grinder. Tate pulls it out and picks up the first down, keeping the drive alive. Houston making the tackle on Khalil Tate, the number 10 dual threat quarterback coming out of high school, rated by ESPN a couple of years ago.
Jonesy, with these safeties crowding the line of scrimmage, perfect time for Arizona to take a shot down the field. You know, one of these guys, sneak them out. Look how close these safeties are. 8 yards near the line of scrimmage.
That's Wolma or Nunley, number 81 or 85. And there's the ladder. Nunley with the reception, although it wasn't downfield. Picks up a few yards. Picks up 5 on the play. Under a minute to go here in the first quarter.
Yeah, at some point, Rich Rodriguez is going to look out there and he's going to say, look, I got to help my quarterback. I got to move those safeties. They can't get that close to the line of scrimmage. That's a 9-man front you're trying to run into. Moving back.
2nd and 5. There's Tell keeping an eye on Khalil Tate. Tate in trouble and sacked, and they lose some critical, pivotal yardage now outside of field goal range with 5 seconds to go in the quarter.
Well, Tate has always been the best athlete on the field. Used to making plays. He just ran through high school, and he's run through guys last month. Not that time. There's some pretty good athletes at USC.
Yeah. Trojans are saying, hey, Khalil, I'm not trying to be on your highlight tape, bro. The blocked punt, the scoop and score by Houston. Trojans lead when we come back for the second quarter.
The College Football Playoff Top 25 Ranking Show. Tuesday at 7 on ESPN. Presented by Goodyear.
Could be some more surprises. Hey, folks. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Committed to honoring blimp-worthy athletes who demonstrate hard work and on and off the field. Goodyear, official sponsor of the College Football Playoff. 3rd down and 19 for Khalil Tate on a predetermined run. Tate down to the 28-yard line. And fourth down coming up. They're well within field goal range of Josh
I like
Pollard.
that call. I like that.
What do you like about it?
It gave him a chance to get a shot at 3 points. You know, picking up a 3rd and 19 isn't all that easy, but they've got a good, strong kicker. They do a safe play with Tate. Now you have a chance to get some points out of it.
What do you make of the fact that we haven't seen Tate blow up the way we might have expected so far? What does it say about USC defensively?
Not just USC defensively, but offensively, keeping him off the field, controlling the line of scrimmage with their offense.
This is Lucas Haversick, made a 57-yarder already this year and knocks this one through from 45. So Arizona on the board here to start the second quarter. We're going to stay right here. The game at 7-3. But one of the prevailing storylines is the emergence of that USC offensive line rolling up their sleeves, Rod Gilmore, and playing some effective smash ball.
Oh, yeah. We've talked about their size advantage, what they've done, just kind of mauling that smaller front. But let's not overlook that you got two great backs behind that line. Jones using his vision and his speed to pick up a lot of yards. And then Cedric Ware getting a little bit more playing time tonight because Stephen Carr is still working his way back onto the field for USC, the outstanding freshman. So those two guys have done well, and primarily because those big guys with the 70s on and whatnot have just been mauling that smaller front.
Yeah, that offensive line, Rod, has bounced back since losing those 3 offensive linemen in the Washington State game. They were ambushed up there in the Palouse country.
You know, we were talking about that. We expected USC to struggle in early September because new offensive line, new wide receivers, but they did okay early on, and then it was when they got hit with the injuries that they struggled against Washington State. They got people back last week. They seem to be on their way again.
This is Velus Jones Jr. from the 10. Boy, great wheels out to the 35-yard line. A nice return. It'll be 1st and 10 for Sam Darnold from there. Hey, kick off your Week 9 with Sunday NFL Countdown at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Tom Brady's backup sit down to talk about him a little bit. Plus, the story of how Carson Wentz went from hometown hero to MVP contender with Philly. Then our Week 9 Monday Night Football matchup, Lions-Packers at Lambeau. Monday Night Countdown kicks off coverage at 6 p.m. Eastern on ESPN.
I'm just sick about the injuries to quarterbacks. You see Aaron Rodgers go down, and then Deshaun Watson. Oh, it's awful.
And even stranger is that Colin Kaepernick doesn't have a job. Ball out to the 40-yard line as Scotty Young Jr. is brought down at the 39-yard line. Ronald Jones there, a.k.a. Rojo to his teammates. Coming off a 200-plus yard performance last week in their win against Arizona State. Approaching 1,000 yards on the season. Could get there tonight, the way he's going.
You know, that is the perfect play for him as you see him bust through the line. They run that stretch play. We talked about it earlier. When you stretch that defensive line, you create wider gaps. He's got great vision. And because he can just plant his foot and cut upfield, he's a slasher. He runs that play really, really well.
4-receiver formation. We'll see how Darnold bounces back after throwing that interception in the end zone on the last drive. 3rd and 1. Jones gets the call, got stoned, and short of the first down. Look at the spot.
How about Tony Fields?
Wow, balling out there.
That's your weak side linebacker. He is one of those 5 freshmen starting on that defense. 6'1", 225. Very instinctive. And he just threw his body in there against the big guys and won.
Played on a state championship team out of Las Vegas, Nevada. You hear a chorus of boos, a smattering of boos as USC electing to punt this time on 4th down. Remember earlier they got stoned on a 4th down gamble. Shun Brown back at his own 20-yard line for Arizona. And the Trojans going to call the timeout. Back to the Coliseum after this. Taco Bell is a proud partner of the College Football Playoff. Be on the lookout for Taco Bell student sections. Passionate fans like these at games all season long. Mark Jones, Rod Gilmore, Quint Kesnick down on the field. Ball at the 43-yard line. USC on offense on a sparkling night here in Los Angeles. There's a look at the Coliseum on the Exposition.
Rolling the dice here, Jonesy.
Yeah, going for it on fourth again.
You know, they did this earlier, and they got stoned by Arizona.
Arizona, their first charge timeout game.
Yeah, that caught Rich Rodriguez by surprise. He expected them to punt and had to burn a timeout there so that they could set up for this. But remember, USC went for a fourth and about a half yard, and Arizona stoned them. But that was in scoring territory. Yes. They were heading down there. But now, if you don't get this and you turn this ball over, you may be forfeiting all the momentum that you've built up in the first quarter and the change of this game. I mean, USC's dominated this game, but you don't make this and you turn it over. Yeah. Arizona's like, that's a turnover.
Two things to point out. Tyler Petit, their tight end, was taken to the locker room for observation. And this personnel grouping here, I'm surprised to see Stephen Carr in at tailback with a fullback in front of him.
The true freshman, Gardena, California, gets the call here. Spins forward, and it's going to be close. He may have fallen forward to get just enough right at that first down marker.
Yeah, I think he barely got that. And Q's point about Carr being in, you're talking about a guy coming off injury who really hadn't touched the ball, and then on a critical fourth down, he gets the ball. How about Clay Helton having a lot of confidence that was going to work with a guy you haven't fed much tonight?
Yeah, came into the game with a little over 300 yards rushing, but averaging 6 yards a carry.
He is talented.
First down and 10. Gets it again. And brought down just shy of midfield by Dane Cruikshank. 6-yard gain on the play. Stephen Carr.
Are you surprised that Darnold has struggled tonight? I mean, 2 throws, 1 pick. Should have been 2 picks, possibly. It's something that at least we got the sense watching film the last couple weeks that he was getting beyond that.
Yeah, he was trending in a great direction. Not seeing his A game yet, but still a long way to go. 2nd and 4. Stays in the pocket and fires a dart complete to the boundary. Jalen Green with the reception. That's Khalil Tate's good buddy. They played high school football together on an 8-yard catch.
Here's a good look at him in the pocket, coming off finding his secondary receiver. You know, he's got a great skill set. I mean, he's patient and the like.
Went through his progressions.
Yeah.
First down and 10. Darnold hands it off to Jones, who's back in the ball game, but Jones stopped up at the line of scrimmage by Tony Fields. We've been saying his name a lot tonight, the true freshman out of Las Vegas.
Getting back to Darnold, you know, the last thing we talked about, drop back passing, when you're in the pocket versus outside the pocket, you see he has struggled more in the pocket with picks. That's the toughest area. Now, he seems to freelance and be comfortable when he's out of the pocket, but turnovers and making plays from the pocket where you don't turn it over is going to be the big thing where he's got to get a little bit better.
Now you wonder how that impacts the evaluations of the guys at the next level. Little play fake in the pocket, and now out of it. And makes a play out of it. Green again. Brought down. They're going to mark him down at about the 20-yard line.
I think he's more comfortable outside of the pocket. I think he sees better outside of the pocket. This is a little bit of, I've done this my entire life, from grade school to high school to last season. I extend plays, I make a good throw. A little bit different when you're confined by the pocket. It takes most quarterbacks time to grow and get comfortable in the pocket.
Has pretty good size back there at 6'4". A 22-yard gain by Green on the catch. A whistle and flags thrown.
Ball start. Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty. First down.
You know, right back to Darnold, that versatility in and outside the pocket may be a function of the fact that he played a bunch of different sports, including basketball.
Sure, yeah.
And Coach Helton actually said that Darnold wanted to stay and not enroll early in January as a freshman because he wanted to finish his varsity basketball season in high school.
Bravo, more kids should do that.
You think it helps?
You only get to do that once.
Darnold, a dart, incomplete, in and out of the hands of Green. Dialed up Green's number for a third consecutive time, and that one might have been a little bit hot coming in, but certainly catchable.
Well, you know, he's talked about, he told you yesterday how he's tried to handle a year where he's been in the spotlight, got a lot of attention, and maybe didn't have the success that he wanted early on. Carson Palmer told him, live in the moment. Enjoy this season. Enjoy college. Don't worry about the next game. Don't worry about the NFL. And he said he's trying to live that way now and not get too caught up in other things.
Has a group of friends down in San Clemente, down by the beach, that he keeps in contact with to stay grounded. Through the air, it's Jones on the other side of that catch. Derek Bowles making the tackle on a 5-yard gain. So, third down coming up. They got to get all the way down to the 12 for the first down.
Well, these are the downs and the situations that make quarterbacks. Third down, you're in scoring position. You've got to protect the fact that you've got 3 points in your back pocket, and you got a chance to pick up 7. Protect the football, make good decisions. Let's see what he does.
11th play of the drive. Feels like the Trojans have had the ball all night, but only lead by 4. Darnold, wide open. Touchdown, Vaughns.
Oh, now that's the stuff you love. A laser of a throw, reads the defense perfectly, doesn't waste any time getting the ball to Vaughn, and look where he catches it. With his hands at the numbers where he can keep moving, you see things like that and you go, yeah, that's my #1 pick. That's my guy. Scouts are looking going, yeah, you cannot deny his skill set.
Yeah, he spun it on that one. Darnold with his 21st touchdown pass of the season, the 52nd of his career. Vaughn's at the other end of it with his 4th touchdown catch. In the immortal words of Keyshawn Johnson, give me the ball.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by AT&T and Chevy, the only brand to earn J.D. Power Dependability Awards for cars, trucks, and SUVs 2 years in a row.
Look at downtown Los Angeles, and Jalen Green with a touchdown reception a moment ago, one-upping his buddy Khalil Tate, who he played high school football with. And Tate's going to get the football in a moment here, but 11 plays on that drive, Rod. About 5.5 minutes on the field. It seems and feels like Tate hasn't had much time on the field at all here tonight.
Well, he hasn't. And remember, we talked about him having to manage his emotions, coming home, playing against teammates, playing against the team that offered him a scholarship but said no pretty much to quarterback. And his first week really on the Heisman horizon.
Certainly some opportunity with respect to the Heisman tonight. From the 5-yard line, Johnson upended at the 15, 10 yards on the return. What was the key on this touchdown pass?
Well, Darnold reads this perfectly. Arizona sitting in kind of a quarters deep coverage. The inside receiver is going to go outside. Outside will come inside. That safety should stay inside, but he doesn't. He runs outside, and Vaughn is completely wide open. Darnold reads it perfectly. Great throw. Nice touchdown. You see the fire that comes off that ball and the way he spins it. Nice.
Let's see if Khalil Tate can establish some kind of drive. J.J. Taylor in the backfield beside him. First down and 10 for the guy that set college football on fire in the month of October, but people remember November. The winner of this game has a leg up on the Division South title. Tate keeping it. And is brought down after a gain of about 3. Let's go to Q.
Mark, Khalil Tate played in this game last year, and I asked Rich Rodriguez what was the biggest difference. He said the play sheet. He took his play sheet, folded up, and said last year when he played in the game, the play sheet was this big. This year, it's the full deal. And he opened it up to show the entire itinerary of Arizona plays.
It's a bigger sheet now, Q.
Much bigger.
Yes. Downfield and incomplete at the 45. Intended for Tony Ellison. This was what it looked like last year. Just 7 of 18. Had a pick and a fumble. It was a rough night for the then 17-year-old freshman. But we talked to him yesterday at the walkthrough, and he's a totally different player right now.
Yeah, but right now USC is really kind of stifling him. They've got to switch it up. They're getting man coverage on the outside. The safeties are crowding the line of scrimmage on first down. They've got to throw it more on first down. They've got to take chances. This 3rd and 7, this is a little tougher.
Little receiver screen complete. That's Brown. Shun Brown going to be stopped up about 5 yards short of the first down. Houston Jr. in on another stop for USC.
Jonesy, I guarantee you, Rick Rodriguez and company and his O coordinators will be over there talking about, look, these safeties at 7 yards and these corners pressing us, we have to throw on first down. We've got to loosen them up and take shots. You can't keep running into that. You can't get Tate loose.
Yeah. We've been bottled up. Remember, we had a low snap that led to a blocked punt and fumble recovery for a touchdown earlier. Josh Pollock.
Boy, low kick.
He barely got that off at the 43. This is Harris. Tripped up at midfield, but falls forward into Wildcat territory. The Trojans will start off with good field position on this drive after the 9-yard punt return. Back to the Coliseum after this. Thinking Houston Astros, Gary Pettis perhaps still, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations to the Astros. Pettis, the base coach. Ronald Jones on the handoff, trying the left side of that offensive line, which is showing a lot of push today. Derek Bowles in on the tackle for the Wildcats. 2-yard gain for Jones on the play. Jones stacking up the yards, approaching 100 already. Went to his first NFL game with his dad at 10 years old and really fell in love with the sport at that point. His late father, Ronald Sr., former lifetime Army sergeant. On the screen, Imatorbhebhe. And Darnold took a hit on this play.
Yeah, Imatorbhebhe just came across the backside of the formation, completely unseen, for a nice little screen play. Kind of picks up some good yardage there. And you're right, Darnold kind of took a little tumble there, but it's a big boy. He can handle that.
Yes, 6'4", 220. First down and 10. Jones trying to get to the edge, and a nice tackle by that Wildcat defense. Colin Schooler, interesting story right there. Had a pick 6 last week in their win against Washington State. Schooler played high school football against Sam Darnold, and when I asked Darnold about it,
how'd he do?
He said he had a pick 6 against me too. But that he had a bad flashback when we brought that up.
But he said he's a nice guy,
yeah.
So he wasn't really mad. He said, you know, he likes competing against him, knows the family.
Yeah. Made a good play. Second down and 8. Darnold has a man. Touchdown, Mitchell.
Jonesy, you can talk about the turnovers, talk about maybe some bad decisions at times that led to those turnovers, but when you see throws like this, oh my goodness. I'm not sure how many guys in the NFL can make that kind of a throw in that position. Wow, that is great.
And a great catch at the other end by Stephen Mitchell Jr., who's been dealing with a shoulder injury.
Awesome.
Hauled that one in.
Yeah, good route, good layout, good throw.
And USC up 21-3. And the still stoic countenance of Sammy D. Call him Sammy TD right now. Welcome back to ESPN College Football, presented by Geico. Traveler, of course, getting a lot of action here early. His team up 21-3. For those of you just tuning in this quarterback showdown tonight, a decided edge, albeit it's still early, going to Sam Darnold, who's thrown 2 touchdowns in his last 3 passes, Rob.
Well, remember also that with the Heisman leaders kind of struggling or being pedestrian today, except for Baker Mayfield, big opportunity for Khalil Tate tonight, yet hasn't had an opportunity to take advantage of it.
This is Tyrell Johnson from the 3. They could use a play on special teams, and Johnson makes a good one there, takes it out beyond the 35. And folks, Tuesday on ESPN, exclusive reveal of the College Football Playoff Top 25 rankings at 7 Eastern. Reese and the gang will break them down from top to bottom, have the coaches' reactions, as well as a live interview with Committee Chairman Kirby Hocutt. Also streaming live on the ESPN app. We have a player shaken up on the sidelines there for Arizona.
I thought the committee did a good job last week with their initial rankings.
How surprised were you that Georgia was above Alabama?
You know, that's fine. I said last week that, you know, early on there's a little bit more focus on the objective. And the committee members, in my view anyway, that subjectivity evaluation of who looks better, eye test, doesn't really factor in early on for them. I think most people would say Alabama is a better looking team and should be number 1. I had Alabama number 1, but it didn't surprise me that because of Georgia's wins and having played, you know, Notre Dame, that they put Georgia number 1 and had Alabama 2.
And of course, that's being a potential matchup in the SEC championship game. Be interested to see what happens to the loser of that one and their involvement in the college football playoff. Tate just 4 for 8 so far. Make it 5 for 9 on that completion. Shun Brown on the other end of it.
But that's the right approach. We talked about the need to throw the ball on first down.
What does that do to the defense?
You know, they've been creeping up. Look how close these safeties are. Look how close you are to the line of scrimmage. You loosen them up when you start throwing. They're up there for the run game.
Tate pulls it out. Trying to get to the edge and upended at the 49-yard line by Jack Jones, but still a 5-yard gain on the play.
Little credit to this USC defense, guys like Jack Jones having to really bring it tonight as you see Tell try to chase him down. Good tackle. They are playing without Iman Marshall, their best corner. So Jack Jones and Langley both getting a lot of attention, a lot of man-to-man coverage tonight for those 2 guys.
First down and 10. Little reverse. This is Johnson, and Johnson is going to be stopped up about 2 yards short of the first down. Houston Jr. making the tackle on the play.
This is a critical drive for Arizona and for Tate. Tate for confidence, Arizona because they need a touchdown to get back in this game.
Arizona lining up fast, and they'll pick up the first down there on the run by J.J. Taylor and move the chains. Yeah, that's a big first down to keep the drive alive. Iosefa making the tackle on the play. Q?
Yeah, Wildcats moving the ball, but let's keep in mind, no explosive plays, and that's really been their hallmark this year. 36 plays of over 30 yards to lead FBS. They have yet to connect on a gashed play. I think you got to credit the discipline of the USC defense.
Yeah, Q, and I think you can slip a H-back tight end out. I just circled one of them for you. That's a big play waiting because those safeties are so close.
Only 86 total yards. Tate tried to hit USC with the pump fake, which has been something that the Trojans defensively have discussed. Coach Pendergast talked about it to us a little bit.
Yeah, you know, Bryce Woma, 81, is in that H-back spot. He was open on that play. You know, you still have to take some chances. What Tate does well in the throwing game, excuse me, is a deep ball. Give him a chance to lay one out. It's hard to do on 2nd and long and 3rd and long.
They've taken some deep shots tonight. Haven't connected yet. And Tate is going to wisely throw this one away. Nobody open downfield.
But those deep shots have come on 2nd and long and 3rd and long. When you get it on first down, you've got those safeties pushed up to the line of scrimmage. You've got man-to-man coverage, and he can throw that nice touch deep ball that allows his guys to go after it in a 50-50 play. And it's been working for them all season. But when you don't do it on the early downs, He's a pocket passer on third down, and that's a problem.
Longest play tonight, just 14 yards, 3rd and 9. Play clock at 3. They're going to have to burn a timeout here. And they'll have one remaining.
Good time to talk about it, because you know what, Jonesy? They might be thinking about, what do we do on 4th down if we don't get that?
You think they're at that juncture of the game already?
I do.
They take keep it alive?
I think they need points. I mean, they need a touchdown, and it's worth rolling the dice here to try to get there. If you can't get a touchdown, if you have a shot at least to getting 3 points, to get some confidence for your offense, that would help. But I think they have to seriously think about, what are the 2 plays that can get us a first down and keep this drive going? Because you just turn this thing over and you give it back to USC.
Right.
Could be lights out before you get to halftime.
What do you make of that matchup we talked about a little bit earlier between the safety Tell and Khalil Tate? Why does USC seem to be winning that matchup?
Well, because Arizona has been predictable on first down, and Tell has run down Tate and forced him to help, and they've made tackles. So far, Tell's winning that matchup. But there are opportunities, but they're not there on 3rd and 9.
Here we go. Trying to keep this drive going. Takes a deep shot downfield. Incomplete. And flag on the play intended for Tyrell Johnson. Defended by Chris Hawkins. There's a flag at the 4-yard line.
Pass interference. Defense number 4. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
So they get the first down on the pass interference.
Clearly pass interference on Hawkins. Couldn't find the ball. Totally disrupted Johnson. And a good play called by Rich Rod. He's working on the safeties. He's working on Hawkins with the receiver. That's the way you go when you attack this stuff, even on 3rd and 9. Stay away from the corners. Work the safeties.
From the 24. Tate hands it off to J.J. Taylor, who picks up about 3 yards on the play.
I get a kick out of Taylor every time he runs inside. Can you find me? 5'6", but he runs tough. He runs hard. He's got a quick little change of direction. Q, don't you like him as a runner?
I lose him, Rod. I can't find him. Where is he? And he makes Tate look really tall right now.
5'6". Had a couple of touchdowns last week in their win against Washington State. Tate. No magic so far in the first half. He's sacked back at the 26-yard line by Iosefa. A 3-yard loss.
You don't often get a lot of pressure from USC because they can usually apply it with 4. But they bring some extra guys here, and there's nowhere for Tate to go. They form a nice little pocket. They don't let him slip to the outside, which was the #1 goal for the defense. Keep him in the middle of the field. Don't let him slip out to the side.
3rd sack of the night. Tate back to pass. Deep into traffic and overthrows his intended receiver Johnson, who had 2 defenders sandwiching him. And 4th down coming up. And you can see the disappointment on Khalil Tate's face. And Rich Rodriguez all up in Johnson's grill on the sidelines, but an encouraging pat at the end of it.
Well, there was a mix-up on routes. They believe Johnson ran the wrong route, which didn't give Tate an opportunity. So a wasted opportunity.
Haversick from 43 yards out. And he's got his 2nd one of the night, 2 for 2. Arizona takes 3. They would have liked to have gotten 6.
Well, getting points, any points out of that is good for, confidence and getting a little rhythm and feeling like you can move the ball.
Rich Rodriguez said that they practiced and prepared to win this game all week in practice. Folks, stream every ESPN and ABC college football game live or at home or on the go. You'll get access to scores, news, highlights all season long. Just download the ESPN app and start streaming now. Arizona's season, Rod, has already been what you could, call a success when you think about them being picked by the quote-unquote prognosticators and experts to finish last in the Pac-12 South. Last year coming off a 3-win season and already in a very good position.
You know, they could go in at halftime. If they get a stop here, they should go in at halftime feeling like we gave away 7 points on special teams. Okay. We're really in this game. We haven't hit our stride. They have a chance to steal the Pac-12 South. They really do.
Yeah. Great opportunity. They squib it down to the 40-yard line. Let's go back to sure-handed Adnan with the catch in the studio.
How far do you think Jesse and Joy will move up Miami?
I don't know, but I'm guessing Miami at about number 7 or 8 here this week coming up.
I could see that.
Doing enough to win again this week. Pass underneath complete to Pittman Jr. Jr. getting the start this week for Mitchell. And brought down by Jace Whitaker. An 18-yard gain on the play. 1st and 10 for the Trojans. Looking at another score here with plenty of time to go in the first half. From the 42. Little blitz on Darnold and shows you his versatility. Put a shoulder down on Burns there and picked up the first down. Don't sleep on his mobility, folks.
He's an athlete. Little toughness. How about switching the ball to the outside hand?
Little running back savvy there, huh?
You know, he's looking at a defensive back, looking it up, going, I'm not going to run away from you, Mr. Burns. You're 170 pounds. I got 55 on you.
Flag down on the field.
False start. Offense, number 88. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Matterbebe that time, the culprit. 1:49 to go in the second quarter. USC's 2 losses this year against Washington State and Notre Dame. Ronald Jones in the backfield. Darnold has connected on his last 5. This time he hands it off. Flag down. Jones brought down a couple yards shy of the first down.
Flag on the play.
Holding. Offense, number 70. 10-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
The right tackle, Udoga, got him this time. This drive started off looking like SC had an opportunity to get something big out of this, and then a couple of penalties pushing them back.
And McGrath has kicked a field goal of 51 yards already this year, so he's got great leg strength.
Arizona struggles with the pass rush.
Darnold over the middle. Incomplete. That should have been caught. It looked like it was Matterbebe. Yep. Hit him in the hands. 2nd and 25 with 1:31 to go.
Yeah, the challenge for Arizona is really how do you get pressure on Darnold? You know, they really don't have a major pass rusher. They don't like to play man coverage on the back end. The matchups aren't great. So how do you get the pressure?
Darnold sets up the screen. This is Carr. Great cut inside the 40 to the 36 where Young Jr. makes the tackle on the play. Picked up 10. 3rd down coming up for the Trojans. But in field goal range. 3rd and 15 to go with 1:09 to play. Two-by-two formation with the receivers. Darnold has all day and overshoots a wide open Tyler Vaughns.
You know, they only rushed 3 and dropped 8, so it's a lot harder to see receivers when you've got 8 defenders back there. And I don't know why Darnold missed him. He saw him at the last minute, and usually his accuracy is pretty good. He's way off on that one. And that would have been a first down.
And then some. And he's going to stay on the field here on 4th and 15.
But right now, USC does not fear the Arizona offense getting the ball and having a quick 1-minute drill on them. They want to take their chance here.
And we're going to take a timeout.
USC, their second charge timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Folks, aerial coverage provided by Goodyear tonight, committed to honoring blimp-worthy athletes who demonstrate hard work on and off the field. Goodyear, official sponsor of the college football playoff. Love seeing the blimp at our sporting events.
Yeah, it's a good day when you see the blimp.
Oh, I want to see that come across, scrolled across there. Good day in L.A. Full moon tonight.
Yeah, especially when you don't drop the $15 on the kettle corn. I was not going there.
I'm going to get you some kettle corn at halftime.
Don't do that.
I'm going to reach in my pocket and hook you up.
No, I'm philosophically opposed to that. There it is, kettle corn.
Gourmet
That's a
kettle corn.
$15 bag, man.
With about 500 calories. Hey man, the way you burn that off in the weight room, though, Rod, that's easy, man. Yeah, they bring
I'm cheap,
in the
man. I'm just cheap.
No truth to the rumor that Rod Gilmore goes into his pockets like he's got fish hooks in there, folks. Sean Brown standing on his own 10-yard line for this punt from Budarovich. And Brown gets the fair catch at the 17. A little bit of a lost opportunity that time for USC after taking over with time to get into field goal range at least.
I thought they were going to take that shot on 4th down because, really, the Arizona offense has not threatened them with big plays tonight. Their defense has played well. I thought they would take the shot. You know, you think about what Tate has done tonight. They've really kind of, corralled him rushing, only 19 yards. Passing, they haven't hit a deep ball.
Well, Clancy Pendergast, the defensive coordinator for USC, one of the MVPs right now, with a great game plan for Khalil Tate and executed well by his players.
He used in the NFL what he called the Vic rules for Michael Vick, and he's probably going to have to rename them the Tate rules here.
It only takes one play with Tate, though. Houston Jr. making the tackle on the play on J.J. Taylor.
And so far, there he is. There's Clancy Pendergast. And, his Tate rules tonight, getting Marvell Tell really kind of tracking Tate and making sure that you had a guy who could make tackles in open space, sometimes bring him.
2nd and 9. Tate going to take a shot downfield. And that thing hung up there forever. Sean Brown, the intended target, working against Langley. 3rd and 9 coming up.
You made a comment yesterday that I thought was interesting when we were talking about Tate's recruiting at USC, and Clay Helton said, yeah, we loved him, we wanted him, but we had to be honest with him. And you were like, wow, in recruiting there's some honesty. And USC was honest and said, you might come as quarterback, but you might play receiver or DB.
Yeah, sometimes student athletes get sold a fake bill of goods. Gain of 3 on the play by J.J. Taylor. With 5 seconds to go, and USC going to call a timeout here.
Timeout. USC, their 3rd and final.
I love the call, Mark, because you've got some punting issues this evening with Arizona. A bad snap that led to a touchdown, a near block, and now with 4th down, you kind of put a little pressure on Arizona. Are they going to snap it long? Are they going to give the ball to Tate and he's going to run around for 5 seconds and take a knee? So you put them in a little bit of a bind by calling that timeout.
No, I agree. That's a good call, Q. And I think Arizona should go ahead and kick it. A little punt safe. Take your time. Make sure you're protected. Oh, but look what. Rich Rod's going to do the alternative. He's going to have Tate run around.
Yeah, this is the old I know that you know that I know that you know. I'm thinking of punting.
Timeout. Arizona, their 3rd and final timeout.
And the chess match continues. So Arizona burns its final timeout of the half.
You think you can outsmart me with that timeout? I can outsmart you with my timeout.
Rod, I feel the old banana in the tailpipe coming up here. On 4th and 6, all this for a 6 seconds to go in a first half that has seen the most electrifying, the most imperious, dynamic player in college football over the last month been stymied by that Trojan defense. All that for the punter to come in.
Back to where we started. We said punt safe, get rid of it.
Josh Pollock. Let's keep an eye on the snap, though. Harris back on his own 43-yard line for the Trojans. Good snap, and he got it out. They came after him. And the ball out of bounds with 1 second to go. So a Hail Mary here, Rod?
Absolutely. If you called all those timeouts to get the ball back and you got Sam Darnold, you better make one throw to the end zone, right?
Yeah, make it worth the while.
You know, and that before halftime of the Texas game, Rod, you watch that. They put the Hail Mary in and they threw underneath to Ronald Jones, who actually ran about 35 yards for a touchdown in the last play of halftime against Texas. So they've got options. Vaughn's is a good leaper, 21. Burnett's been very quiet today.
Yeah.
And we'll get to see Darnold's arm strength from beyond midfield.
Great observation there on the reference to the Texas game, Q. 1 second to go. Darnold going to wind it up and fire it deep into the end zone. For a brief moment, it had a chance. And that's the end of the first half of play. Bebe, the closest receiver there for the Trojans. Trojans leading in the half as we head to the studio for our halftime report. Josh Pollock, low snap, and they get to it. A scoop and score, room service Trojans. Darnold, wide open, touchdown, Vaughns. And welcome back, everyone, to ESPN College Football, presented by Geico from Los Angeles and LA Memorial Coliseum at the corner of Expo and Vermont. 21-6 at halftime. Both teams ranked in the top 25. USC has won the previous 5 meetings between these two. Mark Jones chopping it up alongside Rod Gilmore. Quint Kesnick down on the field. Joining us in just a bit. Rod, what has to happen here for Arizona to get back in the game?
Really need to get something on this opening possession, and they have to get Tate involved. He hasn't really been on the field an awful lot, so they need him to do something.
Yeah, can't make big plays when you're on the sidelines for most of the first half. But Arizona going to receive here to start off the third quarter. Tyrell Johnson on the kickoff return. And he takes it out to the 31-yard line. This was a big week for Tate, making a homecoming to L.A.
Khalil Tate, Inglewood, California, quarterback.
There he goes! Touchdown, Tate!
Playing a key role that's kind of different. You know, a lot of family and friends come to the game.
Tate's gone!
Whenever I came home, maybe a good homecoming. It's a big game. Pac-12 South is at stake, and I'm going to come out on top.
Very confident during the week. He prepared that way. But there's a look at the numbers from the first half. Just 5 of 12 passing. Rod, you talked about them having to break tendency on first down, especially. Let's see how they get started here in the third quarter. They pass it on first down for about a 3-yard gain to Shun Brown. Q?
And that play right there is what you're going to see a lot, according to Rich Rodriguez, who says we have to take what they're giving us. Well, the corners are bailing on first down. Pitch and catch, it's pretty easy. Don't panic, and he wants Khalil Tate's vision to be a little better when he is under duress. Meanwhile, Clay Helton loves the fact that their defense has been gap sound and no big plays.
They've been the first team to slow down Tate since the first start he made in the whole month of October. 3-yard gain by Tate. It'll be third down about 2 with Smith on the tackle.
2 guys. Marvell Tell, who's tracking Tate, number 7, at the safety spot. And then whoever that unblocked defender is kind of rotates over to try and take Tate. So they've got 2 guys really kind of focused on Tate, and it's worked so far tonight. No really big runs by him.
They're just 2 of 8 on third down tonight. 3rd and 2. Play clock down to 5. Going to take a shot up top. Nobody home and incomplete at the 20-yard line. That wasn't even close. Tony Ellison, the intended target. You can see the confusion etched across his face as we take a look at our planning for success, brought to you by Northwestern Mutual.
Yeah, they got to get Tate more involved. We talked about that. He only has 19 rushing yards. Got to give him some stuff on first down. And then how about USC? They kind of got away from their rushing attack. They had 132 yards in the first quarter, and then the second quarter was Sam Darnold. But they were pushing them around the field. So I think in this third quarter, you'll probably see USC get back to relying on their offensive line and run that ball a little bit more.
Got a flag down on the field, a late one. The officials talking things over.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense number 25 and 27. 10-yard penalty, automatic first down. This is number 25 and number 27's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game.
You know, generally speaking, the officials have been really good this season about allowing a certain amount of celebration. But when you extend it and you go pretty far, they have no choice.
That's garbage. That is.
I hear you. I know. But you would agree they've been more lenient this year, haven't they?
Yeah, they have been. Yes.
They've allowed guys to express themselves.
I'm not sure what's unsportsmanlike about that. Whistle and a flag on the far side of the field.
Well, it certainly was extended. I mean, you know, I think he probably warned him, said, all right, did you have your dance? That's enough.
Yeah. Defense number 25, contact, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Yeah, I played varsity sports. I don't see where, well, this is the penalty. But on the previous play to see where that is an offense of some sort.
13-32. 13-32. Correction. 13-32.
Love that cool and calm disposition by his head coach. Hey, both you guys, I need to talk with you for a minute. What do you think Helton's saying to his guy over there?
Probably reminding them about, you know, composure, poise, playing like a champion.
Yeah. They run it for the first down. That's Nick Wilson. You know, you ask guys to play with emotion and fire, and it's not a situation where you play varsity sports. You just don't hit the switch and become a robot.
No. Well, and he's opened up a little bit. Chris Hawkins went into his office and said, hey, coach, we're a younger team. Yeah. We need to have some fun. You know, you got to let us loose a little bit. He said, you know what, you're right. But then there's a line. You know?
First down and 10. Tate pulls it. Passes complete to the 30-yard line. That's going to be Tony Ellison, who he tried to find a few times in that first half. A pickup of 7 on the play. Second down and about a long 3.5 to go.
Yeah, USC has done a great job of boxing Tate in, not letting him slip out.
Hands it off this time to Nick Wilson, the 5'10 senior out of Fresno, California. One of their leading rushers coming into the game, Cameron Smith, making the tackle. So third down coming up. 1 yard to go. They go quick. Tate pulls it out and does it himself. He got enough for the first down as they try and rip the ball out, and Teal was there along with Hawkins. But Khalil Tate still on the field, courtesy of that penalty that kept the drive alive for Arizona.
That's the guy who's really been having a night. He's been tracking Tate, lining up on the side of the back where he expects Tate to go.
Pulls it out to pass. Has a man on the sidelines. They're going to say it's complete.
That's Taylor out of the backfield.
Wow, what a catch by J.J. Taylor. 18 yards.
He keeps that toe.
Oh, wow.
Inbounds. That was beautifully done. Watch that right foot. Watch the right toe. That's inbound. Question, did he step out beforehand?
And they're going to look at this one. If it stands, it's their longest play of the night.
A first down for Arizona. The previous play is now under replay review.
So it's not the catch, Jonesy. It's right before the catch. That foot, the left foot, and then the right foot, he voluntarily steps out of bounds and then comes back in and is the first to touch the ball. That's going to be overturned. It's going to be ruled an incomplete pass. If he doesn't step out of bounds before he catches it, that's a beautiful play. But
the catch itself was great.
Now, he stepped out with both feet at different times. There you see, watch the left foot. Left heel, that's out of bounds clearly. So he's out. And then this foot, that one's out.
Yeah. Then he comes back in to make the catch.
Right.
Well, he's not allowed to do that, so this one seemingly will come back. What a catch by J.J. Taylor, talking about his size, being able to hide behind those bigger offensive linemen, that time sneaking out of the backfield to show his pass receiving skills.
Well, that replay was pretty clear. I'm sure they're looking at where they need to put the ball and what time was on the clock to get all that squared away here. But there's no question about what the call on the field will be. It's taking care of the other logistics right now, which, we talked about earlier, makes this process at times insufferable. But, you got to figure out the clock and you got to figure out where the placement is.
What do you make of this opening drive so far, the third quarter for Arizona?
Well, we've seen the adjustment. Quint talked about the first down throws, the quick game. There's still going to have to be more adjustments. They're going to have to get big plays at some point. This offense is not a hunt and peck 12, 14, drive. They're in the middle of an 8-play drive right now. That's not their routine. They're a big play offense, and USC has taken away the big plays tonight.
Yeah, they have not been able to connect on a lot of deep shots, especially. Here's the call.
After review, the receiver went out of bounds, came back inbounds, and caught the pass. This is a foul for illegal touching against the offense. The penalty is loss of down at the previous spot. It'll be second down.
There's your call. The ball back at the 24.
You like that throwing of the flag with the camera on you?
A little late, man.
Yeah, but
is that for drama or what?
You think it's a little overly dramatic?
The second time we've seen that tonight.
Well, you got to throw the flag at some point.
Yeah.
Why not do it with the microphone? You got everybody's attention.
Yeah. And the close-up. Zach Green in the backfield on 2nd and 10. Tate over the middle. Boy, he had his guy open. That was Tyrell Johnson.
He was late. Tate was late. Johnson ran the post pattern. Tate held the ball a little bit too long. If he had thrown it a beat sooner, it's probably a touchdown.
You got to connect on those opportunities.
You got Poindexter away from the cameras, far side, 19 in white, their tallest receiver, 6'5".
Right up there, Q.
3rd and 10. Wildcats haven't been in the end zone tonight. Play clock at 4. Tate tipped and caught miraculously by Ellison for the first down. Tony Ellison didn't give up on it after it was tipped.
Yeah, it should have been picked, but look at him. The great rollover to make sure that the ball does not touch the ground.
And even when he caught it, Rod, he held it up in the air.
Yeah, Nwosu had that. That was a pick for him. He didn't get it. Ellison with great concentration.
And a player injured for USC, Racine Green. But, boy, what a great catch by Tony Ellison, the 5'11 junior from Granite Bay, California, as you see Green come off the field. So they pick up the first down on the carom.
Jonesy, I want to go back to something that Q mentioned. That matchup, you're in the red zone. You can get fades here. You've got something out. That's the big 6'5" out there. That's the matchup Q was talking about down here. That's an opportunity.
First and 10 from the 13. Tate keeps it. Picked up about 4. The ball comes out, but he was down. Tate was down on the play.
The ruling on the field is that the runner was down. Second down. Game clock. Please reset.
Yeah, he was down.
11:43. 11:43.
From the angle we saw earlier, it looked like he was down. Here's another one.
Well, USC is trying to rip the ball out. You see the attempt there. And as he rolls over, that ball's out.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on USC against the head coach.
Well, that's one of the new rules this season about the head football coach staying off the field.
Wow.
For being hit with an unsportsman conduct. Everybody had money on Jim Harbaugh.
Dude, that's the first time I've seen that call this year that I can remember us seeing it.
Yeah, they had a sideline warning earlier, and head linesman Cravon Barrett had enough. Coach ran down to the 15-yard line, pointing up to the big monitor like the ball was out, the ball was out, the ball was out. Look at it. And the linesman wasn't listening and threw the flag on the coach.
So they're looking at the play upstairs, and there's a penalty against Helton.
Yeah, now, is he down here? From the first angle, there was no evidence to show that the ball was out. Now, looking for a knee or an elbow or anything down. Hand is down and ball's coming out.
Is that knee down?
Can't tell from that knee. That
yeah.
knee is obscured. It looks now like that knee was not down there, but it looks like that hand, not elbow. So that ball may not be out. I mean, he was not down. That ball comes out. Watch the hand, but not the elbow.
That's a fumble.
That's a fumble. No knee, no elbow, just the hand. So that ball comes out. So do you take the penalty off of Helton because he's right?
Yeah, it came after this though. So
yeah. Now they
assess it after. But theoretically, yeah, he wouldn't have been mad if they'd have gotten it right.
They'd gotten it right, yeah.
Another lengthy review here this evening.
Well, again, they're looking at the clock. They're looking at the location.
After review, the runner fumbled the ball. It was recovered by USC at the 4-yard line. The unsports conduct foul against the head coach for USC will be enforced from the 4-yard line. It'll be USC's ball, 1st and 10 at the 2-yard line.
You know, Jonesy, one other little point here. If I'm a USC fan, I'm a little irritated because if they don't blow that whistle, that's a scoop and score.
Yeah, they had it coming back the other way.
Yeah, and that's why you tend to exercise caution and you let the play go through and then you let replay take a look at it.
Yeah, with Harris and Jones were there to scoop up the loose ball.
Yeah, if you don't blow that whistle, you've got a chance now for Jack Jones to get a scoop and score. But because you blew the whistle on a fumble, that's not 7 points for USC when it should have been.
Well, it's going to be their ball from their own 2. And this is Ronald Jones. You know, going back to that a little bit, Helton's got to feel a little bit vindicated, as you alluded to, that the reason why he was more than perturbed was the fact that he had a great argument.
You know what I would do if I were him? I'd go, Mr. Official, I don't want you to take the penalty away, but can you at least say you're sorry?
Yeah, get an apology?
Yeah.
You
got me in
principle
trouble.
of the matter, yeah. 2nd and 7. Jones, great strength and a flag down on the play. Fields in on the tackle on Jones. Q?
Yeah, Flag Festival continues. He did not offer that apology, Rod. He did not. I can tell you what he said, but I may lose my job.
Oh, yeah.
Holding.
Well, don't want to read part 99.
Number 70, half the distance to the goal. Replay, 2nd down.
Well, this is going to come back again to the 3-yard line, and Coach Helton doing a slow simmer and boil on the sideline.
Well, the good news for USC is that they kept Arizona off the board because of that turnover when Arizona had moved the ball down there.
2nd and 9 for quarterback Sam Darnold. Jones put his foot in the ground and picked up about 2. Derek Bowles making the tackle. 3rd down coming up in long for USC.
How come when people talk about the great running backs in college football, Ronald Jones II isn't mentioned?
Great point. And you look at his stats coming in. He's going to hit 1,000 yards any minute.
Well, I know this. I know that Barkley and Geis both watch him, and they say he's fantastic, and they steal some things from him by watching him on tape.
He's got a tremendous amount of talent.
Well, when your peers respect you like that, that tells you how good you are.
Set a goal for 1,500 yards rushing for himself this year and 15 touchdowns. That pass complete to Matatuk Bebe. Cruikshank on the tackle, and another flag on the field.
Flag on the play.
8-yard gain by Bebe. And this game has ground to a halt.
A lot of laundry out there.
The ruling on the field is a completed catch. Personal foul, targeting, defense. The play is now under replay review. This is a 15-yard penalty, an automatic first down.
Well, every week, Jonesy, this is the most controversial rule in college football, targeting. And the question here is this because of leading with the crown, or is it simply a defenseless player? Now, I think we've had more and more coaches complain about this. Now, the rule originally was intended to lower the strike zone. And when a guy is going down, that defender, Cruikshank, can't get much lower than that. And I didn't see a factor of him launching or leading with the helmet.
With the crown, yeah.
I don't think this is targeting. And moreover, I think if you're going to tweak the rule, you want my new rule?
Talk to me.
If you lower the target as a defender and you try and wrap up, you should be in a safety zone. You ought to be absolved of anything and cannot be flagged.
Trying to wrap up.
Because we want people to tackle better and be safe. If he tries everything, if he tries to lower the target and he tries to wrap up, he ought to be safe. And that doesn't matter if the receiver lowers or whatnot, but if you as the defender, if you lower your target and you try and wrap up, you're trying to do everything the right way. And that will make the game safer, and it won't make you lose players either. That's not the rule, but that's my rule.
Yeah, there's a lot of great ideas, and that being one of them on how to make the game safer and how you legislate some of it.
Well, you know, we've had coaches tell us every week.
After review, there is no foul for targeting. The contact was with the player's chest. The completed pass and a first down for Arizona at the 13-yard line.
In fairness to the officials, that is a bang play. It's hard to call. It's difficult.
And everyone, including coaches who complain about the rule, think that the intent is good, making the game safer, and that works. What most coaches complain about is losing a player for a game or two when the player is trying to do the right thing.
Right. Yeah, we had coaches talk about almost a flagrant 1 or flagrant 2 type scenario as one of the potential solutions. First down and 10, back at the 13. Jones again straight ahead out to the 18-yard line. Picked up 4 on the play. You saw Coach Helton with a rather facetious applause for the official on that targeting call.
Look, he's in the middle of the playoffs, he says. It's stressful every day. He sleeps at the office Monday and Tuesday nights, every week. Might have something to do with the LA traffic here.
Yeah, that 405, man. Northbound, southbound's a parking lot most of the time. 2nd and 6. And Darnold slides in a little bit shy of that first down marker, about 1.5 yards, picked up 5. So it's 3rd down coming up.
You watch the slide by Darnold, and nothing to that. No launching.
Nope.
It's wrapping up the quarterback on the ground.
It's funny how we look for that almost every play now. Close to it anyway.
You know, getting back to Helton and USC. Helton says they're in a playoff every week now after losing to Notre Dame.
The previous play is under review for illegal contact.
Like I said, we look for this on almost every play now.
You know, some things are bang bang. You've got a quarterback who is sliding here. Now watch the defender come in. He's wrapping up and he's lowering the target. When a guy is going low and you bend down, your head's going to come down.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's sliding. You talk about an offensive player going low there.
He's actually catching him. He's not trying to hit him or anything. This is, to me, this is a fine defensive play, and he's down as low as he can go without diving himself. I think that's a good defensive play. Yeah. I don't see a launch. I don't see a leading with the head. I don't see a leading with the forearm to get to the upper body. That's a good, solid defensive play. I have no problem with them, you know, being certain and looking at it, but that's a good play.
So that last play under review with 8:53 to go in the third quarter. You talked about Clay Helton hit. Here's a call.
After review, there's no foul for targeting. The contact was not forcible.
27 players graduated. 14 of those players of USC going to the NFL. And they have rebuilt it pretty well here at USC. 7-2 coming in, 5-1 in the Pac-12 South Division. And a win tonight for the Trojans gives them a huge leg up on the South Division title. Jones in the backfield on 3rd and 2. It's been a quiet night for Burnett. Darnold goes through his progression. Jones made the catch. Let's see where they mark his forward progress. It's going to be close. Appears to be a little bit shy of the first down.
Don't you have the sense that USC could have and should have put this game away by now?
Yes.
And Arizona's hanging around.
And the punt team comes in for the Trojans.
And they get this stop here.
And the lack of rhythm is very, very apparent down here. The fans are sitting on their hands, and the offense is stop and go, stop and go, stop and go. Tough to find your rhythm.
Yeah, Q, if you put together one drive here, if you're Arizona, you're right back in this thing.
Brown back deep. Brown makes the catch at his own 34-yard line out of bounds after a very good punt by Budorovich of 44 yards. Been a rough night for Khalil Tate, guy that exploded onto the college football scene in the month of October with 4 consecutive Player of the Week honors in the Pac-12, Rod.
Yeah, they've really kind of boxed him in. A guy who had a chance with kind of the door open today because of the Heisman situation. You know, you didn't get the sense that anybody really took off except for this guy. Baker Mayfield had a big day, but everybody else really kind of struggled. And so the door's open for him.
Yeah, Mayfield wasn't playing against much defense today in Oklahoma State. Tate taking a shot deep on the post. Batted away nicely, incomplete. By Harris.
Woods a tight end, 6'6". They tried to go for the size mismatch there. You see there's a little bit of going for the ride there by the nickelback Harris. But J.N.A. Harris was hanging on and managed to make the play.
Well, Arizona at least taking shots on first down. Tate back to pass and under some heat. And got back some yardage, but is going to take a loss on that one. Good pursuit by Nwosu. 3rd down and long coming up. Loss of 4 on that last play.
Give a lot of credit to the USC defense. They have executed Pendergast's game plan. They've been terrific on first down. They've really hemmed in Tate, taken away his running lanes. They've used tail on him. They've forced 3rd and long, and they've held up in these situations. This is where they want Tate to be in the pocket on 3rd and long.
He's misfired on 7 of his last 9 passes. And sacked, swallowed back at the 18-yard line by Tell and Houston Jr. He never had a chance on that play, Rod.
Yeah, well, Jonesy, we talked about the night that Tell's been having. He took this challenge on tonight. You'll see him come on inside. They really basically said, look, you're the guy. You're the guy that can handle Tate, and they brought him right up the middle that time.
Boy, Arizona had only given up 4 sacks all season long. That was the 5th one they've given up tonight. A terrible punt by Josh Pollock. It's going to roll down to the 46-yard line, just a 26-yard punt. And Rich Rod looking busted and disgusted right now, back after this.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Audi and Napa Auto Parts. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
The venerable edifice that is Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Folks, you're watching the Pac-12 on ESPN. Under the lights, this building that has hosted a couple of Olympic Games. Olympics coming here in 2024, Rod. Get you a ticket, huh?
Yeah. Look me up.
Well, it looked like a track meet early for Ronald Jones. Little play action. Darnold underneath finds his man Burnett wide open. And down to the 5, 1st and goal. Trojans.
The patience that time by Darnold. He waited for Burnett to clear. He looked at him in the middle of the field, you see, didn't clear the zone, waited for him to continue on to the sideline and got him out there. That was a nice effort, great patience.
And off to Jones, touchdown, put his hat down and got to the end zone. That's the 11th rushing touchdown this year for Jones.
Yeah, Jonesy, for a moment it looked like they might stop that play, but not with Jones running hard and not with some good blocking inside.
And USC in control. Jones with another touchdown. And with a name like Jones, balling's a habit. You know it.
Back to the USC touchdown. I want you to see a couple things with this USC offense. Fields comes into the gap very nicely, but just watch the vision of Ronald Jones II. He sees that gap, but knows there's a cutback lane too. Watch him feel it, anticipate it, find it, and then power his way into the end zone. Backs with vision are really special.
2020. USC has led the entire game. Arizona was as close as 4 points at 1.7 to 3, but Jones and that great job by the offensive line. And T. Martin has really schemed a great game plan for his offense. The offensive coordinator Johnson on the kickoff return. There's a flag down as Johnson goes down, claiming somebody grabbed his face mask. A 23-yard kickoff return. Kind of the picture of the third quarter right there. The officials kind of hanging.
I mean, true, there's been a lot of laundry out this third quarter.
And we don't know what the penalty. Well, face mask maybe.
Well, we haven't really had a preliminary call.
There are 2 fouls on the play. We'll replay the kickoff. During the return, holding return team number 38. At the end of the play, personal foul, face mask, kicking team number 14. These fouls offset. We'll replay the kickoff.
Well, we'll do it again. Arizona trying to keep its 4-game winning streak alive, but down 28-6. And yeah, we talked about T. Martin, the offensive coordinator for USC, scheming a great plan so far. And although he goes more by feel than by script to start the game off, his instincts have been correct and right on so far.
Well, he's also one of the hot coordinators out there, with a lot of discussion about what's going on in the SEC, a lot of rumors about Tennessee, where he played and won a national championship. I would expect, you would assume, to hear his name connected with Tennessee if, in fact, that job becomes open.
Yeah. Florida also looking for a coach. Had a tough time up in Missouri today. Let's do this kickoff thing again. Johnson is going to watch it go out the back of the end zone. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line for Arizona. Kick off your Week 9 NFL Sunday NFL Countdown at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN. Tom Brady's backups talk about the days with him, plus how Carson Wentz went from hometown hero to the Eagles. Then Week 9 Monday Night Football, big matchup. Lions-Packers. Monday Night Countdown kicking off at 6 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN.
I know your favorite segment is the You Got Moss.
You Got Moss, Randy, yeah. Some of the great catches in college football. J.J. Taylor in the backfield. It has been a turbulent, tough night for Khalil Tate. Throwing on 1st down and finds his target this time. That's Tony Ellison. Closer out near midfield. Defended by Harris, a gain of 18 and a 1st down.
Oh, he is such a reliable receiver, such good hands. That's his second tough catch we've seen him make tonight.
USC never really got lined up. They got gashed up front, Rod. Nice gain on the play. Once again, Taylor. Harris on the tackle.
Well, this is a nice little adjustment by Arizona. Push the tempo.
That's Rodriguez's preference, right? That's the way he likes to play. And another flag on the field.
So Rich Rodriguez would like to push the tempo, and I think he's trying to figure out, is there a flag and what's the flag, and give me a call. He wants to go fast.
They are having an inordinate amount of officials conferences.
Yeah, a lot of conferences without a call being made.
We haven't heard anything.
There's no flag for 12 players on defense. Arizona snapped the ball before the substitution process was completed. Therefore, we'll go back to the previous spot and replay the down.
Said that USC had a tough time lining up. They're trying to get guys off the field.
Well, but Jonesy, that's on the official. You stand over the ball and you release them to snap it. Once you move away, they're going to snap it. I mean, that's completely on the officials to determine and control substitution and timing there. Stand over the ball. Yeah. You run away from it, they're going to snap it.
Then it's live, yeah. This game is really ground to a halt in the 3rd quarter. Taylor gets to the edge, cuts it upfield. Tough running, dynamic running. Brought down finally by Jack Jones. Another 1st down. 5.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. A 14-yard gain by J.J. Taylor.
How frustrated do you think Tate is right now?
Yeah. Huge. He has not gotten in rhythm.
No. He owned October. Got him the name Mr. October for his performance. And November tonight has not started off too well.
Fires a dart complete this time to Shun Brown. Brown made the catch. You know, Brown's dad, Byron, Played football at Grambling State back in the day. Q?
Yeah, take what they give us. That's been the plan here on first down now in the second half. As these corners bail, it's just a little hitch route on the outside.
There it is again. But Brown got hit immediately by Jack Jones.
Yeah, that works, Q, as we see Jack Jones come up and make a good tackle. But you have to follow up that first down play with a meaningful second down play. You get to 2nd and 1, now you got a chance to take some chances.
They're looking at a double move. Tate fires, and it's incomplete at the 33. Intended again for Sean Brown. That's his favorite target here on this drive. 4:39 to go in the third.
Q, the one thing we have not seen out of Arizona much tonight, the quarterback counter game. You know, trying to get him away from Tell and go the other way and get him loose in something other than just the zone read game.
Very interesting, Rock, because I was thinking, the quarterback sweep, the counter, and QB draw.
He keeps it here. Tate finds a seam, still on his feet. Touchdown, Tate. He detonates. You knew it was going to happen at some point. 32 yards for the touchdown.
Well, and just as Q was calling for it, the quarterback sweep showed up, and a terrific cut by Tate. This is an outside run. He sees a lane inside and takes it. He's an instinctive runner. It's the only time tonight they've been able to free him.
Khalil Tate giving his team a little bit of life with his 9th rushing touchdown of the season. Pollock in for the extra point to make it 28-13. So the Wildcats still alive here, Rob.
What a fantastic view this is. You'll see the holes open up. Outside is where it's supposed to go. He finds the crevice inside, and he's too fast for anybody to get him from the side.
Boy, he outran a couple of guys in that secondary.
Outran those angles.
Hey, aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, committed to honoring blimp-worthy athletes who demonstrate hard work on and off the field. Goodyear, official sponsor of the college football playoff.
They're just hanging around. Right back, matching USC's last touchdown. Arizona is still in this ball game. Now remember, they gave up 7 points on a muff, snap, block, punt, if you will. Otherwise, it's a one-possession game.
And it's an 8-point score, 8-point game if not. But back to Tate, if you're just joining us, an amazing story. Was on the bench for the first 4 games. Played sparingly. The turning point coming when he walked into Coach Rodriguez's office the week of the Colorado game, the first week of October. And he got in when his starter, Brandon Dawkins, was injured and hasn't been out since. This is Jones on the return. And a great way to seize back the momentum for the Trojans on a fantastic kickoff return. But there's a flag down on the play.
Flag on the play.
Of course, wouldn't be the third quarter if there weren't a flag.
Return, holding, return team, number 84. 10-yard penalty, first down.
So we're going to roll it back again. Sam Darnold going to get the reins of the offense back at the 20-yard line. First down and 10 for USC.
Back to the ground attack.
Worked early for them.
Worked with Ronald Jones that last series. He's been a handful for them tonight. When they focused on him, when USC has given him the touches, he's really been a problem for Arizona.
First and 10. Jones running between the tackles. You know, Jones, a junior, set a high goal for himself of 1,500 yards rushing. A long cry for him when he struggled as a freshman. Called his mom a couple of times and his family back in Texas and thought about coming home because he was so homesick. Missed his family, his friends, and familiar surroundings. And
missed his hamburgers.
They didn't have no Whataburger here. You know, it's In-N-Out Burger in California.
I can't believe he didn't get converted to the In-N-Out Burger.
Darnold tries to take off and gains a yard. Derek Bowles making the tackle.
Yeah, 6'2", 296. Derek Bowles was not fooled on that play. Got disengaged from the center and looked up and saw Darnold. Made a nice play.
Transfer from Boise State. Went to Coffeyville Community College after that, then found his way to Arizona. 3rd and 7 here.
Yeah, and Arizona struggles to bring pressure. They can't seem to get to Darnold, and they don't want to roll with the blitz. They don't like the matchups on the outside.
Darnold going to be sacked back at the 18-yard line by Bruno.
Luca Bruno out of Laney JC in Oakland on a 3-man rush. This is never supposed to happen. They only bring 3 against 5 blockers. He swims Udoga on the right side and gets inside. That's a tremendous sack.
And the defense with a big stop here for the Wildcats. Sean Brown standing at his own 40-yard line. They'll get good field position after this punt. The 3rd of the night for Budarovich. Arizona likes to come after it. And Budarovich gets off a fantastic punt. Brown got collared and brought down at the 28-yard line, and another flag on the play. And the fans are getting into it now. They catch on quick. That's the 7th flag this quarter.
You think the officials have noticed the fans throwing the flags?
At the end of the play, personal foul, face mask, kicking team, number 13. 15-yard penalty from the end of the play. 1st down.
Well, this will give Arizona a great start.
I'm not sure he got the face mask. From that angle, it looked like he got the shoulder pads. No, he got it.
From
he
that
got
angle,
it. That
he
angle,
did.
yeah, he got it.
Yeah,
he
good.
got it. Yep.
That one absolves the officials.
Yep.
That was a good call.
Good call.
2:16 to go. Khalil Tate, perhaps with some burgeoning confidence right now after that touchdown on the last sequence. Gashes them again. Tate on the loose down to the 35. And this Wildcat offense has suddenly come alive.
Well, they found a little something. They've gone away from the zone read. A little bit more, a little zone read action here. But a blocker out in front this time using their tight end Woma to lead the way. So they're giving him a little bit more on the edge.
Keeps it again, Rod. And inside the 30 down to the 29. Houston making the tackle. Yeah, Tate's a little bit more fired up right now.
Well, you know, Rich Rodriguez has been running this offense for 20-plus years. Had Pat White do it at West Virginia, his best probably running quarterback ever. Denard Robinson won't like that, but probably so.
Or Sean King. King's all right with it. Oh, his receiver slipped. That was Nunley. Forward pass. It'll be incomplete. 3rd and 3 coming up. Nunley losing his footing.
I don't know that Rich Rod has ever had a quarterback as fast and thick and physical as Tate is. You can run him inside. You can run him outside. He will lower his shoulder. 3rd and 3 doesn't intimidate him.
Yeah. Pat White in particular was very slight.
Right. And you're in 2-down territory.
3rd and 3. See if they get enough on 3rd here. Tate looking to pass. Downfield and incomplete. Intended for Sean Brown. Tried to put some air under that ball, and 4th down coming up.
So you have a kicker that you know can make one from this distance. But are you feeling that sense of desperation that you need something else, something more? And I think Rich Rod's going to go for it here.
Field goal still, it's a 2-possession game even after he makes it, if he does. Arizona 10-13 on 4th downs this year.
Well,
and a timeout on the field.
The beauty of a field goal is we take a look like that. Looks like that's Jones who's down. The beauty of a field goal here is that you keep the pressure on, you keep the momentum, you get something out of it, and it's a 2-possession game, and you have the entire 4th quarter ahead of you.
You see Jack Jones, cornerback, getting worked on for cramps to his right calf. It's 62 degrees out here, but I've seen Khalil Tate of Arizona as well struggling with some stretching on the sideline, like he's about to cramp. They gave him some electrolytes. You know, temperature and being hydrated. Do not run 1-2. Sometimes these guys forget to drink when it's cooler.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Q. Yeah, it's not hot weather. It's failure to hydrate.
Yeah, Rod's got his own big Christmas sweater on up here, Q. Little chilly.
Anything under 75.
He got a hoodie on. 4th and 3. Wildcats trying to stay on the field and stay alive.
6'5" against 5'11".
Poindexter, but Tate looking the other way. Has a man. Touchdown, Brown! And the Cats are clawing and alive. Khalil Tate kept the play alive with his legs.
Hold on, just hold on. They've been hanging around. We've been talking about it all night. Extending the play and finding Sean Brown. But Jonesy, all night we've talked about USC's inability to land the knockout punch.
Great point, Rod. And the touchdown last week against Washington State, a touchdown there for Sean Brown.
He gets man coverage. He's up against Harris. And watch, he just pivots back out. And when you beat man coverage like that and there's no one to that side, you got a chance to make something happen, and Tate found him. Yeah, I've made a couple plays now. I'm feeling good again.
His chest is puffed out a little bit now. And it's down to a one-possession game. Boy, an interesting third quarter.
What did Tate need? 30 tickets or something for family and friends for this game?
Well, it looks like the pressure and the heat's not bothering him here in the third quarter, with all of the family members coming to watch him with their scrutinizing eyes and expectations. Khalil Tate.
Look, let's not forget the Pac-12 South, control of the South, is at stake tonight, and USC has dominated this game until the last couple of minutes. They had a chance to land knockout blows, and they didn't.
Khalil Tate trying to just find a way to win for the Wildcats. It'll come out to the 25-yard line, 1st and 10. Tuesday on ESPN, the exclusive reveal of the College Football Playoff Top 25 rankings. 7 p.m. Eastern. Reese and the crew breaking it down from top to bottom. Coaches' reactions, as well as a live interview with Chairman Kirby Hocutt. Also streaming live on the ESPN app. Khalil Tate was offered by USC. Said thanks, but no thanks. Not that he'd fit better in Rich Rod's system, and turned out to be a pretty good move. And Clay Helton, the head coach for the Trojans, said he's going to be a pain for a lot of us in the Pac-12. Jones stopped up and brought down after a gain of about 3 by Colin Schooler.
Good move by Arizona's defense on that first down play. They slanted. They moved their defensive front. We talked about this earlier. They're too small to sit in front of that line. When you move them and you attack and you penetrate, you have a chance.
Under a minute to go in the third. Arizona on a 14-0 run. They bring a little pressure on Darnold, but he counters it, finds Pittman. And Pittman with a first down out near midfield of the 46. Dane Cruikshank pushing him out of bounds. And there's a player down back of the 23-yard line.
That's Belknap who's down.
Well, you already see that big club that he's got, Rod, on his right hand. And Darnold holding that left hip area and favoring his left side. Darnold seems to be in a little discomfort.
Well, Belknap's coming off now, and he's walking better than what we saw earlier. So that's good to see.
1st and 10, 41 seconds to go in the third quarter. Out near the 46 for USC. Jones in the backfield. A little bit of a quiet night for USC's leading receiver, Deontay Burnett, number 80. He's the inside receiver to the right. Jones getting it done on the ground. Brought down at the 50-yard line by Larry Tharp Jr. And that might do it for the third quarter. The Wildcats claw their way back into this ball game with a couple of touchdowns. Khalil Tate leading the way. The 4-time reigning Pac-12 Player of the Week. Does he have one more miraculous finish left? From Tucson back home. And the kid from Inglewood is up to no good right now, folks. 15 minutes to go back at the Coliseum after this. And welcome back, everyone, to ESPN College Football, presented by Geico. They light the flame here for games at LA Memorial Coliseum. Arizona with a nice surge right now. They've scored 14 straight points to make it a ball game, trailing by just 8. Jones with the run, and third down coming up for USC.
Not just any third down. It's a big third down. A little momentum for Arizona. USC settling in, struggling the last few plays. This could be a huge momentum changer if Arizona gets a stop.
Jones in the backfield. Now motions out. Darnold into a tight window for the first down catch at the 43 to Tyler Vaughns.
Nice job by Vaughn coming back to the ball that time, Q. I'm sure you noticed that.
Yeah, that ball had some zip on it. Darnold's dealing with some discomfort right now. During that last time out in the huddle, he appeared to be stretching his left calf and/or Achilles on his left foot. So I was worried about his push off and his drive, but it looked pretty snappy on that last throw.
Cedric Ware in the backfield. Little counter, found a nice seam off the right side. Ware tearing up. Ware! Touchdown! Oh, they're saying he's pushed out of bounds. One official signaled touchdown. And I see a flag at the 15.
The result of the play is a touchdown. During the play, personal foul, hands to the face, defense number 2. This penalty will carry it to the kickoff. We'll now have the extra point attempt.
So Cedric Ware's touchdown stands.
Yeah, you'll see the end of the play with Ware, and on Vaughn there was the hands to the face by Burns, number 2. That's when they flagged him for at the 15. That left hand of his got up to the face mask. That'll be enforced on the kickoff. But what a tremendous run by Ware. And think about that offensive line. Andrew Voorhees doesn't get a lot of attention, pulled out there and led the way. It was a tremendous block.
42 yards in all for the touchdown. The extra point good. And boy, that's how you kill a rally that Arizona seemed to have coming. From the blimp, from any angle, Ware. Coming up on SportsCenter after the game, big upsets in Big Ten impact of Ohio State and Penn State losses, college football playoff race. Herb Street's top 4, and Baker dominates Bedlam, sizing up the Heisman race in the wake of that. All on SportsCenter at 1:45 a.m. Eastern on ESPN from downtown. Right off to the left over there, you see Staples Center, right where LA Live is and where our SportsCenter studios are. I've been in this town for a minute, going back to Tuesday, Rod.
Did you drop by the SportsCenter?
Yeah, got a chance to see some of the people there.
Good job.
Great sports week here in Los Angeles. Unfortunately, things didn't quite work out for the Dodgers, but things working out for the Trojans here tonight.
Well, still a ways to go. It's a 2-score lead now, 2-possession lead for them. Can Arizona answer? Tate's been better in the second half, a little hot at times here, so can they answer it? If they can answer and keep the pressure on, this thing is not over.
J.J. Taylor in the backfield. They fake the reverse, and Tate in the open field. Got a blocker in front of him. Khalil Tate waiting for his blockers patiently all the way down near the 20-yard line. And he explodes again on USC.
Rich Rodriguez reaching into his bag of tricks. The fake reverse lead blocker for your quarterback. Faked it, kept them inside defensively, and boy, did he have himself a little caravan. 3 guys blocking for him.
He's got a way of gliding when he runs with the football. Picking his holes. And pushed out of bounds this time at about the 16-yard line by Chris Hawkins.
Well, give a lot of credit to those 2 offensive coordinators working with Rich Rodriguez, Rod Smith, Calvin McGee, reaching deep to find some things to free up Tate. Something other than the zone read.
Yeah, he's at about 138 yards now on the ground. Starting to stack them up. 2nd and 5 for Arizona. Tate hands it off this time to Taylor. And Taylor brought down for a gain of 1 maybe on the play by Lopes. 3rd down coming up. And Khalil Tate. Tough night throwing the football tonight. In the first end, improving in the second half.
Yep, they've been a little bit more creative getting him the football in the second half. At some point, though, going to have to make a play in the passing game, too, like now.
3rd and 5. Out of the backfield, got Taylor. Great move. Oh, he hit him with the sauce for the touchdown. He slammed the brakes on and waltzed into the end zone. Houston is still looking for him.
Well, that was the matchup. They had Houston playing him man-to-man at the linebacking spot. And when you get Taylor coming out of the backfield, that's a long way for that linebacker number 10 to run. No chance. Not against that guy. That is a mismatch. They found it. Taylor executed it with a nice little touch pass from Tate.
Boy, that scoring drive didn't take long. Just 137, Rod. And they get that touchdown back quickly. The extra point good. And it is back to a 1-possession game. It's a Pac-12 After Dark, starring Khalil Tate. And somebody needs a new set of brakes for the Trojans.
ESPN College Football is presented by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And in part by Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy.
And welcome back, everyone, and a great storyline tonight with a couple of very talented, dynamic quarterbacks. There's a look at the respective numbers.
And the thing that you don't see is just how effective in the second half. You see the rushing numbers for Tate. Tate's been. I mean, throwing the ball, key touchdown passes to Taylor, but also changing up the run game to free him up when they got very little out of him in the first half.
Tate's 2 touchdowns in his last 2 passes. Jones on the return for the Trojans. And Jones upended at the 25 and falling at the 27. First down and 10 for Sam Darnold. Q reported a moment ago that Darnold was suffering from a little bit of discomfort on the left side, the lower left side of his body. Quint?
Yeah, and he continues to throw while we're at commercial break. Really focused on his footwork more than anything, and I think it has something to do with something on his left leg, the lower portion of his left leg. He's okay. He's in a little discomfort, but he was making sure that his technique was sound and that his throwing motion was unaffected.
You can always hand it off to Ronald Jones, who's stacking up some good yards tonight. He runs like that. Picked up about 3 on the play. Well, at least Darnold will have something interesting to talk about on his podcast with Will Ferrell, right?
Yeah.
Amongst other celebrities and stars he has on his podcast.
I think that's fascinating. I think he ought to be getting, credit for that podcast he does on kind of a weekly basis and has invited guests. And one of those guests was Will Ferrell.
Not bad. Communications major. Here's a sampling of his podcast.
Bringing our guest on the Season of Sam podcast, Will
How
Ferrell.
do you know it's really me, though? That's the question. A Will Ferrell vocal impersonator.
Yeah, I'm just kind of hoping it's you, honestly.
Not bad. Ferrell, a big fan.
Yeah, he said he's a big fan of Ferrell's. He said his favorite movie is Elf because he and his family used to watch that an awful lot.
I'm kind of a Step Brothers guy myself when it comes to his movies.
Talladega Nights, Ricky Bobby, and those thin little pancakes. I love those things.
3rd and 4. That pass incomplete. And in the words of Ferrell, you're the first or you're last. And the Trojans last on that possession. They'll have to punt.
Just say I love crepes, Ricky Bobby.
4th and 4. And Arizona going to get the football back here on a 3 and out. Arizona's defense already has more 3 and outs this year than they had all of last year.
Oh, we talked about momentum. Score, stop. You've got momentum. And Arizona has it now.
Low snap. And a good punt by Bedrovich. A line drive, though, returnable. Still on his feet, Brown. Into Trojan territory, dancing around and brought down finally at the 47-yard line.
Think about what's happened, Jonesy. We've gone from a score for Arizona to a 3 and out to a special teams play and a 1-possession game in the 4th quarter. You want momentum? Wildcats have it.
Will Tate, the most dynamic player in college football during the month of October, back on the field, and it has been a different second half for him. He's got his team back in the game. They can tie it on this drive. Just when it seemed like USC had them on the ropes and reeling, the Wildcats fought back into it in the 3rd. Nice handoff to Taylor. Taylor gets the edge and picks up a 1st down at the 35-yard line. Iosefa with the tackle.
Yeah, just a little counter, start one way, bring it back the other. Another one of the second half adjustments we've seen from Arizona's offense.
First down and 10. Tate pulls it out and put it on spin cycle and picked up a couple of yards. Nwosu making the tackle for USC.
Jonesy, I thought 2 really good adjustments in the second half for Arizona. One was going away from the zone read, using some other things to get Tate involved. The quarterback sweep, little counter, that sort of thing. And then the matchup, the man-to-man passing matchup between Taylor as a running back with the linebackers. Those 2 adjustments have helped them in the second half.
2nd and 9. Pass caught at the 23-yard line. That's the big target we've been talking about all night. Sean Poindexter with an 11-yard pickup.
Well, that route has been there all night. Just a little stick route, 6'5", with the 5'11" corner on you. Turn around, catch the ball. It's been there, but they haven't gone there very often.
Tate has looked like a different quarterback here in the second half. 1st and 10. Tate keeps it. Good stiff arm and pushed out of bounds a little shy of the 15-yard line. He's wearing out that Trojan defense a little bit here.
Well, they've had more trouble in the second half setting the edge and forcing Tate back inside. And a lot of that is because of the counteraction and then the speed quarterback sweep getting out there in a hurry. boxed him in the first half, not so much the second half.
2nd and 3 after the 7-yard pickup. Tate keeps it, picks up the first down, and it's going to be 1st and goal at about the 6. And they still don't blow the whistle, so the pile moves inside the 5 down to about the 3-yard line. A 13-yard gain.
He's a physical runner, and we talked about his matchup with Tell, all night. That safety number 7 there, just looking him up, waiting for him.
Have those adjustments neutralized Till a little?
Well, Tate won that matchup. I mean, he got outside in a hurry, and then he lowered the shoulder.
Zach Green in the ball game beside Tate. Green, touchdown, and the Wildcats a 2-point conversion away from tying it. Wow.
But you don't need the 2-point conversion right now. You can go for it if you believe you have a play that works, but you got 8.5 minutes in this game.
They have stormed back, Rod, here in the second half.
Well, momentum. Nothing is more important. We talked about it. They got to score, they got to stop, they got a special teams play. Now, Rich Rod wants to go for 2 here. That's fine. You still have 8.5 minutes. And this is a gimme. You can take the chance. There's no real downside to it from my perspective, but there's a lot of time left in this game. And I'm sure he believes he's got a play that will work here. One they worked on all week long.
Tate rolls right. Flag down. Tate caught by Ellison. Wow. Will it stand, though? There's a flag on the play. Ellison went high to make the grab. And Khalil Tate feeling nice.
Offside, defense number 27 in the neutral zone at the snap. The extra attempt is good. 2 points.
They have tied the game up.
Well, Jonesy, you have a couple of 2-point plays that you work on all week long that you know if you get to do it, they should work for you. And this thing now, all tied up, Pac-12 South, open. Who's going to win this thing?
We are knotted at 35 with 8:23 to play. The Pac-12 South Division on the line here tonight. The winner of this game has a leg up on the rest of the field. Both teams with 1 loss in conference play. Arizona at 5-1. Clay Helton's USC Trojans at 5-1 as well. Jones on the return. And brought down right around the 30-yard line. And boy, you really feel the momentum in favor of that Wildcat defense. And Sam Darnold has been largely ineffective here in the last few possessions.
And the air has sort of gone out of the stadium. You look at Darnold's numbers, 2 TDs, 1 pick, 224 yards, and a little bit out of balance here in the second half for USC. Going back between the rushing attack and trying to get Darnold comfortable, and then he looked like there was something bothering his left leg.
Cedric Ware in the backfield. Burnett in motion in the slot. Darnold steps up and delivers a strike to Vaughns. Vaughns becoming a very reliable number 2 receiver for the Trojans. Picks up 14 and a first down.
He was the number 1 receiver coming out of high school last year, redshirted because there were so many other talented receivers, and he's emerged this year as a go-to guy.
From the 47, Ware, flag down. Boy, Ware showing good burst tonight. Flanagan fouls, making the tackle. Let's see if this stands with 7:35 to go. A signal hold.
Holding, offense number 72. 10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
So, Jonesy, just to back up for a minute, remember Clay Helton said every week is a playoff game for USC now. They want to win the Pac-12 South, get to the Pac-12 championship game, and see where they wind up. Now, they've blown a big lead in this ball game with 7:50 to go. You got to make plays now.
And you almost get the feeling, Rod, and you alluded to it, that they took their foot off the gas a little bit and having a hard time cranking it back up. Darnold now 1st and 20. Burnett in motion. Darnold on the move, where he's effective. On the sideline, complete to Pittman Jr. for the first down at the 42.
When he's out of the pocket, I think that's when he's at his best, at his most comfortable. He sees the field much better, and look where that ball is. Right above the numbers, easy catch for the receiver. His accuracy, again, pretty darn telling.
21-yard gain on the play for the first down. Ware stoned with nowhere to go. That's going to be a loss. Boy, that defense, the guys up front. Belknap leading the way that time.
Yeah, and DeAndre Miller showing up more aggressive, moving that line, attacking with their linebackers, recognizing that on first down they got to take some chances.
Ware got a little twisted up on that tackle, Rod. He limped off the field a little bit. And Jones comes back in for him, a loss of 4. 2nd and 14. Burnett in motion. Darnold under pressure for Jones. Caught it! Jones with the first down. He got in behind Tony Fields.
Well, Arizona has become more aggressive to bring pressure. They've gone to man coverage, and you got a matchup that simply doesn't work. You got Fields trying to handle Jones out of the backfield. That's a linebacker on a running back. That never works.
Darnold rolling out again. Hits the edge. Complete to Burnett. One more look at that throw, and he dropped a dime in there.
Yeah, now watch Jones. He's in the backfield. Now he's matched up with Fields. He understands it. Just run right by him. And Darnold finds him, Q. Perfectly thrown ball.
Darnold rolling to his left. I'm standing at the 18-yard line saying there's no way he can make this throw. And the touch was in stride to perfection. Probably the best touch throw I've seen all season.
2nd and 7. Could be more where that came from, Q. Jones on the ground this time. Keeps those legs going. Brought down at the 1-yard line. Tried to body surf his way into the end zone, but the officials mark him a yard shy.
His vision is phenomenal. When he sees a lane, he hits it. How about the leg churning at the end? You'll see that just a football length short.
Jones leaving no doubt this time. Touchdown USC. His second one of the day.
Well over 100 yards for Jones on the night, joining his teammate Ware. This one he waltzed in, 24 carries, 115 yards. Couple of scores.
A great way to answer that touchdown by the Wildcats a moment ago.
Not to mention, it gave the USC defense a chance to catch its breath.
Yeah, Quinn had mentioned the fact they looked a little bit fatigued on one of those last drives. 7 plays, 72 yards, 2:46 on the clock. And Sammy D living up to his end of the quarterback battle.
These two guys are doing.
Yeah.
They are doing.
And Khalil Tate with a chance to answer with plenty of time remaining.
I don't think Darnold is quite ready to relinquish that Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year award he got last season. Tate being the new shiny toy this year. Darnold coming alive on the last drive there, Q.
It seems like the critical moments bring out the best in Sam Darnold. Because he was perfect on that drive. That was unbelievable. The scrambling, the pass up the middle, the touch pass to Jones, just the leadership, the poise, the accuracy, and rising to the occasion.
I'm with you, and give a little credit to T. Martin, their offensive coordinator, for recognizing the switch by Arizona, getting out of their zone coverage, going to man-to-man, and realizing that he could get that matchup on Fields with his running back Jones. There's T. Martin up there. He says it takes him, just a couple of series in a game to figure out exactly how the defense really wants to attack him for the day, and he will adjust and go along with it.
How do you feel about the script versus no script on the first several plays? You were the guy, George Seifert.
Not even a fair question. I grew up under the Bill Walsh system. You script your first 12, 15 plays.
They were the first guys to popularize that, weren't they?
Yeah, he was the father of that.
Yeah. But what a second half it's been for Khalil Tate. He's been on the money.
Yeah, well, he has really delivered in the second half. Followed up early on in the second half, more than 140 yards rushing. They switched up what they were doing, not an awful lot of zone read, got him to the edge. He found Brown, Burns in the end zone, comes back and finds Taylor again. Again, nice adjustments. They threw a little bit more quarterback sweep in there. You'll see the difference. 140 rush yards in that second half. 3 total TDs.
9 of 16. Plenty of time. There's a quick strike offense. Tate downfield. Intercepted at the 35. Harris. Harris with the turnover.
Interception by J.A. Harris.
Looked like a miscommunication between Tate and his receiver downfield.
Well, he threw to the middle of the field, and Ellison went to the sideline. And that's a first down play where you don't have to force it if you don't know it's there. Watch it. He throws it back across his body to the middle of the field. That ball's got to be thrown outside.
It was intended for Ellison, and you can understand the emotions of Rodriguez and his quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, the safe throw is outside, and, you know, Ellison was not far enough inside to lead him that way.
So the Trojans with the football. 5:23 to go. And USC giving it to Jones. Pardon me, Ware, who's back in the ball game. USC has the type of offense with the way they've run the ball tonight, Rod, to put the pressure on this Wildcat defense, because they can kill a lot of clock here with the way they've been running the ball successfully.
Yeah, their yardage has been good tonight. 300 last year against Arizona. Well over 200 tonight.
2nd and 7. Under 5 minutes to go. Darnold hands it off to Ware again. This time the Wildcat defensive front wins.
How about Jarris Wallace?
Yeah, coming up from his free safety spot.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot of playing time with Scotty Young, you know, dealing with the knee issue. And this brings up a huge third down. Now the question for Arizona, do you still feel like, if you're Marcel Yates, the D coordinator, do you feel like you want to roll the dice again and bring pressure and play man coverage? The last time you did that, Fields got hooked up with Jones out of the backfield.
Burnett in motion to the top of the screen. Jones back in the ball game. And another dart thrown by Darnold, who's now completed 10 of his last 11. That one to Vaughns for the first down. And a clutch throw.
Well, Darnold read the zone quickly, knew exactly where he would have Vaughn, stopping at the first down markers, a little bit beyond it, and just threw a dart.
From the 47. Ten of 11 in the second half for the quarterback who some feel is the best quarterback on the board in April if he decides to come out. Jones still on the loose. Jones to the 1-yard line.
How good is he? Whoa.
52 yards for Rojo.
You talk about vision, the ability to be explosive, and then the flat-out speed, and then finish the run at the end.
Got to give it to him again for the touchdown. Touchdown, Jones. And he hits him with the silencer. His 3rd touchdown of the day. And it was all set up by that interception.
And then there was set up with his run, that beautiful run where he showed you the speed after the vision, and watch the power to finish this, finish the run. He is determined to finish it, fights all the way through. And then the very last waltz into the end zone. Another score for him.
That one, a disheartening, disconcerting one for that Wildcat defense.
And this was absolutely a walk through the park there for him to get that touchdown. That left side of the offensive line owned Arizona's defense.
Boy, he and Ware tonight on the ground have done a fantastic job.
Well, we wondered in that second quarter, why USC went away from the rushing attack. They were dominating and they went to the passing attack. But here again in the fourth quarter, back to it and shortening the game, getting a 2-score lead now.
Over 600 yards of total offense tonight for the USC Trojans. And a win tonight gives them a little bit of room and an upper leg on the South Division title in the Pac-12.
Well, where it will leave them is really one game from clinching the South. A win next week or a loss by their closest challengers will give them that title. And, we talked about USC not having a bye all season long, playing 12 straight weeks. Well, they may be happy about that if they close out the South, because then they'll get a bye before the Pac-12 championship game. They'll have 2 weeks to get healthy and rested and ready to play instead of 1 week.
Great point. 3:09 to go. Trojans looking for their 8th win of the season against 2 losses. It'll come out first down and 10 at the 25 to Khalil Tate. How he bounces back in the remaining 3:09 from the interception that led to a touchdown that might have sealed the deal will say a lot about Tate, you think, going forward on the season after a spectacular month of October.
Right. Well, we've already seen him bounce back. After that first half, he bounced back in the second half of this game.
First down and 10 from the 25. Not like these guys can't score quickly. Tate downfield into traffic. Incomplete. Rod, those are the throws as we see another flag thrown on the play. Those are the throws that have been getting Tate in trouble tonight.
Yeah, there have been a couple of those that have been an issue, but none like the
holding defense number 27. 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Certainly the pick on that last series for Arizona was the one really big mistake we've seen from him tonight. They didn't have a lot going in the first half. They got him loose in the second half, but then that pick was the one thing that you'd have to say was a big mistake by him. It was only first down. They had plenty of time to make plays, and he forced something that really wasn't there.
I really love the way that Rich Rodriguez has helped him out in the second half with some of the various adjustments that they've made. Tate gains about 2 yards on the play. Clock running, though.
Yeah, they're going to have to speed it up, and as much as they like to run it, you really don't have time for that now. You've got a 2-score game. You need a quick score, and you got to get the ball back. Rich Rod's saying the same thing. Let's go.
Full complement of 3 timeouts remaining. Deep drop by Tate. Fires incomplete. Intended for Ellison. Stops the clock with 2:28 to go. 3rd and 8 coming up. And for a young man that came into this game with the spotlight searing hot after a spectacular October, coming home, playing against a school that recruited him in front of friends and family. Expectations suddenly high. Pass intercepted, stolen by Houston. Wow. And that should do it.
It was a great throw to Brown. Brown actually had it taken away by Houston. He had picked up the first down. This is a bullet, an absolute bullet that's thrown right to him. He's got it, couldn't handle it. And look at Houston.
I'll take that.
How about that presence? That looks good. First down. Oh, no, it's not. Give me that. Give me all that.
This was tied at 35. And then USC rallied with 14 consecutive points. What a game for Houston, who had the scoop and score recovery off the block punt for the first touchdown of the night. And then now seemingly a definitive play to close the deal for USC. Jones down to the 23. Boy, Ronald Jones thinking about putting up 2 bills in this game.
Listen,
200.
We've talked about his first-round talent. Whether he comes out next spring, whether he's drafted in the first round, that's unclear, but he's got first-round talent.
Arizona, their first charge timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Second week in a row that USC has gone over 600 yards in offense.
Ronald Jones rushing for 194 yards, 3 touchdowns, 27 carries. Total of 630 yards of total offense. And
well, that was after 216 for Jones last week against Arizona State.
He's rolling. And to think that as a freshman he was homesick and wasn't quite sure that USC was a place for him.
I think he's happy with that decision now.
Yeah, a bunch of touches will cure homesickness.
Highly regarded by his peers. Saquon Barkley says he checks out his tape, looks for tips he can pick up. Aaron Geis says the same thing. So his peers know how good he is as a running back.
Guy that initially committed to Oklahoma State. Darnold hands it off to Ware. And Ware with nowhere to go. Arizona defense did a pretty good job, though, in the second half, for what it's worth.
Yeah, give a lot of credit to Arizona. They were hanging on in this ball game a number of times. USC was close to a knockout punch. This young defense hung in there. They fought to stick around, and they clawed their way back in the second half. And with the Pac-12 South at stake on the road at SC, that's not an easy thing to do.
Here's a look at the South standings. USC and Arizona both with 1 loss.
Well, keep in mind, USC's already beaten Arizona State. They will have beaten Arizona tonight. So this thing will be essentially wrapped up as soon as SC wins another game or Arizona State loses.
And then in the North Division, Washington in the lead right now. Here's Ware. And for Arizona next week, it'll be a game against Oregon State down in Tucson.
Timeout, Arizona, their third and
You know, the
final
problem
charge timeout.
for the Pac-12, you think about the college football playoff, you know, they've cannibalized themselves. You know, USC is sitting with 2 losses. Anybody else in the discussion is Washington. Everyone else has 2 or 3 losses. And with Washington, even with their schedule, they may not be the choice to get even close. They were 12th by the committee, you know, this week. So sometimes you can be too balanced and too competitive for your own good, and that may be the issue for the Pac-12 this year, as they are likely to be left out of the playoff unless you get chaos.
Yeah, a lot would have to change between now and the time the final standings come out. But Oklahoma started the day at 5. They outlasted Oklahoma State in Bedlam today in a high-scoring affair. Ohio State and Penn State both losing. TCU at 8 winning. Wisconsin winning, although Wisconsin's opponents haven't really done much so far. Ware with another run inside the 10. It'll be 1st and goal. And I'd like the Hurricanes to jump up to maybe number 6 or 7. There were some people thought they were a little bit fraudulent coming in, but a pretty convincing win against Virginia Tech tonight.
Well, all that's going to get wrapped up on SportsCenter. We can throw in our app and catch it on our way back to the hotel.
Yes, sir. Fight that California traffic on 110. Notre Dame, Miami in prime time next week on ABC from Miami Gardens, Florida.
How big is that one?
Huge. Notre Dame, of course, number 3 in the college football playoff standings. Don't forget SportsCenter coming up right after the game. Total recap of the day in college football, all the big upsets. Georgia winning.
Ohio State going down at Iowa.
Big. I mean, they got hammered today.
After the way they played against Penn State, I thought it was almost a lock that Ohio State would win the Big Ten.
Yeah. Looks like you mentioned Wisconsin's just going to jog in their side of the Big Ten Conference. So Clay Helton and USC will improve to 8-2 overall, 6-1 in the Pac-12 South Division, and a leg up on the rest of the pack in winning the division. That'll do it. This one is cooked, glazed, and ready to be sliced. Schooler and Darnold, a couple of former high school rivals, with a show of mutual respect, dapping each other up. USC wins it 49-35 for Khalil Tate. For a few thrills in the second half, but not quite enough. The 4-time Pac-12 Player of the Week going to take an L for the first time since becoming starter. And Jones close to another 200 yards on the night. 49-35 the final for Rod Gilmore and Quint Kesnick. I'm Mark Jones saying so long from Los Angeles, the city of stars. SportsCenter starts in 15 seconds.